Hello? Oh,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Assistant Athletic Sports Communications Specialist, Frank Myra, and welcome to the Athletic Stream. Here for the pregame show, I'm here with Max Finkelstein, here for a good old nine-inning contest, Ithaca College versus Hobart, the Statesmen. Their first year back being a varsity program since the mid-1990s, Max. So their roster features actually a lot of first-year players.
yeah, looking at this roster, the first 10 players here are all first years, all righties. It's going to be a fun one to watch, especially with the young talent on the Ithaca side of things as of late. Colin Shishadi, sophomore out there hitting in the 400s right now, batting sixth yesterday in the first game against Hobart. It's going to be a young showdown today.
No, and I like Coach Brad Cook's approach for the statesmen out there in the recruiting field. He's able to really give these student athletes a great pitch with it being a first-year program again. These kids, a lot of them are getting this opportunity as first years to get that collegiate action that some of them, if they were here at Ithaca College, might be on like the JV program.
Absolutely, and a clear learning curve, sitting at 8-20 for the Statesmen right now. Total opposite from the Bombers, like you said, but for those players being able to get out and get that valuable reps from day one, being able to start on the mound. But not to say that Ithaca doesn't have freshmen starting from day one. We got a young pitcher out there on the mound in Riley out there. Young talent all around for the Bombers, and it'll be a fun one today at Freeman Field.
Yeah, catching up with the Bombers. Ithaca are actually 22-12 on the season after they swept Hobart on Thursday. With Ithaca having a 11-5 record in the Liberty League, Ithaca are hitting outstanding 339 as a team with 297 runs scored in 34 games. And on the mound, Ithaca has struck out 299 hitters over 290 innings. And that, speaking of hitters, some of the players to watch this afternoon, one of the big ones would probably be Garrett Callahan.
Yep, 100% Garrett Callahan. You look at what they've done at home here. The weather has definitely been a factor on the South Hill as of late, with games being moved, rescheduled, and all that stuff. Shout out to the facilities teams for making great decisions there with Zach Ives and Sean Fitzmaurice. But really, what they've been able to do at home here for the Bombers, being able to hit home runs, being able to get the ball moving on offense, especially on the mound with players like number 33 and Kyle Lambert.
Yeah, no. With Kyle Lambert on the mound, you could definitely count on him as he leads the staff with a 3.09 ERA as he came back for his fifth year, kind of utilizing that COVID season.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Kyle Lambert. You talk about Colin Feeney right now, who's coming back, hitting 611, going 11 for 18 with 7 runs and 4 RBIs and 3 doubles and 2 stolen bases. Looking at a 3-1 week for the Bombers. Like I said, a lot of games being shifted and rescheduled as we see the Bombers taking the field for their warm-up period.
Yeah, and we definitely feel a stiff breeze as we're atop Sriracha here on the campus of Ithaca College. I would say this breeze right now is kind of moving towards center field, so this will help the power hitters for the Bombers.
Absolutely. As a rowing expert myself, looking at the winds, the headwind here for the hitters, it's going to be a factor today, especially as the Bombers line up now for their senior day celebration. It's going to be a factor, and Coach Val has taken out some bats, I think, to present to the seniors. Maybe they'll bat with those bats in the lineup. Maybe they're corked. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? And with this wind, we could potentially see some fielding errors. Maybe certainly like Aaron Hicks last night took another wrong route towards the ball. But that might happen here on the campus of Ithaca just because of the way the wind is out there in the outfield. It sometimes is quite hard to read certain plays and certain balls.
Yeah, absolutely. Walking in with a fellow colleague in the broadcast department who appeared on Yes Network earlier in this year, we were talking about the field conditions, and it kind of looks a little rough out there. If we're being honest, we like to be neutral. The field looks rough. Shout out again. We're going to mention Zach Ives. I'm not sure what you were doing tonight into today, getting ready for this game, but there's a lot of pouches out there. As Justin Lutz, director of athletic communications, is now on PA.
As the Bombers are celebrating Senior Day here this afternoon at Freeman Field.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a senior. I've worked in the athletic department now for over 2 years. It's time now, hopefully, for my senior recognition if Justin wrote it into the script.
I'm not quite sure if he did that, but I think that's going to be a wrap here for our portion of the pregame show. We're going to give it to our colleague down on the sidelines, Dean Gutzik, who will tune up the rest of the broadcast, get you guys ready before we throw it to our broadcast team this afternoon, Mr. Jeremy Goldstein and Eli.
nice day here on the South Hill and here in Ithaca, New York at Freeman Field. The Ithaca Bombers taking on the Hobart Statesmen. Dean Gutic alongside with me, Andrew Roberts. And Andrew, what's going on?
Beautiful day for baseball here. A little bit overcast, but still very pleasant weather. Some of the best we've seen here on the South Hill.
Now Ithaca heading into this game 22-12 overall on the year, 11-5 in Liberty League play, coming off a 2-game win streak heading into this game, and with both wins yesterday on the road in Geneva, New York, against this Hobart team. They won the first game 7-0, and the second game 13-9. The Bombers looking for a 3-game sweep here at Freeman Field, and nonetheless on Senior Day.
Yeah, it would be a great day to see a sweep for the Bombers here at 22-12. Not the top team in the Liberty League as of right now, but statistically, they're leading in a lot of Liberty League categories. They are first in runs per game. They are first in batting average. They are first in ERA, and they are first in home runs. So, really, statistically, they're looking like one of the better teams in the Liberty League. They just got to continue to show that in the win column. And against a team like Hobart that is kind of on the bottom in a lot of those same statistical categories, it's going to be crucial to get another win on the board and go for the sweep here.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and now you look into the flip side of things. Hobart, on the other hand, last in the Liberty League, a team batting average of .261 and 7th in runs scored of 6.21 runs scored per game, along with being last in ERA. So for Hobart, it's been about struggles for them. Hobart 8-20 on the year, 2-14 in conference play on a 5-game losing streak. Hobart looking to snap this 5-game losing streak and spoil Senior Day here on Freeman Field.
Really, the only sign of life that we've seen out of this Hobart lineup is from behind the plate. Ty Gallagher, their starting catcher, batting .360 with a 1.137 OPS. He has 4 home runs. That by far leads the team. But when you look at that compared to Ithaca, who has Garrett Callahan, and a double-digit home run hitter, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and this is an Ithaca team. Again, on Senior Day, they're looking to win. This is a team that has the defending Liberty League champions trying to end off their homestand on a positive note.
Yeah, absolutely. And Callahan he was not on the team that won the Liberty League last year, but he was on this team 2 years ago, comes back from Rutgers, and has really given a big boost to this lineup. So, I mean, on paper, this baseball team is looking just as strong, if not stronger than last year. It's just a matter of if they can finish the job and win back-to-back Liberty League titles.
Yeah, and you mentioned Garrett Callahan coming back from Rutgers and being the boost that the Bombers exactly need, batting .402 on the year, 11 home runs, and 53 RBIs. The comeback kid making his presence known in Ithaca, New York.
Absolutely. Yeah, Callahan has been great, and he's not the only one in this lineup that's been contributing. Louis Fabo also batting over .400, and Colin Feeney has been on fire lately. He'll be leading off today and DHing. And then you can't forget Riley Brody either, the starting second baseman, always a key contributor.
I mean, this is a Bombers team, again, that we talked about earlier, second in Liberty League in batting average, first in run score. This is a Bombers offense that can put up a lot of runs and get you a lot of hits. I mean, this is a Bombers
team. And they know how to
hit
bombs as well.
This is the Bombers team that can go off and explode at any point, any time in the game.
Yeah, and I think today is the perfect opportunity. It's looking like Max Friedlander was warming up in Hobart's bullpen. He's most likely going to be the starter today. He was 1-4 with a 7.3 ERA on the season. Not the greatest of seasons out of him, and probably the perfect opportunity for Ithaca to seize to score a lot of runs today.
And if you're Ithaca, it's about getting to Hobart's pitching early and put the runs on early, to pour it on early and set the tone and get ahead early.
Yeah, I will say one problem they had, another game I was at, was when they were playing RIT. They had a lot of trouble with men left on base, and that's something they're going to want to be careful of today. Obviously, RIT is a tougher opponent, but it's still something that they want to be mindful of in this one. Just making sure that if once they start to get some hits on the board, they can keep that momentum going.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a Bombers team that'll definitely look to keep the momentum going. And now looking at the Hobart side of things, and again, For a team that has struggled all season, and Freelander, who's the probable starting pitcher today, 7.3 ERA, 1.4 record. What are the keys for Hobart in this game and how to spoil senior day here on the South Hill?
It's going to be a tough one, an uphill battle for Hobart, but I think it really comes down to Ty Gallagher. If he can make some noise, it really just this whole middle of the lineup, Tyler Gallagher as well as Will Jones, who despite not much power, he knows how to get on base. He's batting .351, has 20 RBIs on the season. If those two can make some noise against whoever's on the mound for Ithaca, looking most likely like Garrett Bell, but whoever's on the mound for Ithaca, if Hobart can make some noise in the middle of their lineup, maybe they can make this a little closer than expected.
Yeah, and for Hobart, again, you mentioned, I think the key right has to be, as you said, Ty Gallagher, Will Jones at near top of the lineup, but also Michael Whitehurst, .341 batting average, along with 8 RBIs. I mean, it's really the middle of the lineup that could dictate this game. Jake Slauson as well, a DH batting .286, along with 2 RBIs. I mean, really that middle of the lineup for Hobart will depend on see how they dictate this whole offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Whitehurst not in the lineup today, but has been a contributor in the past. Our bad on that one. But Christian Petrie going to be leading off, and Petrie, .287 batting average with an .800 OPS and 17 RBIs, so very similar impact to the guys we've mentioned.
Yep. So for the Bombers now in this game, as they will be looking to complete the sweep, what are some keys for the Bombers in this game?
I think it's just keep doing what they've been doing. I mean, I think the number one key is get some runs on the board early, like you were saying, because we know they're capable of scoring. We know they have the power in this lineup, but they need to show who they truly are, get that early lead, or it's possible Hobart could make some noise, make it close.
Yeah, you mentioned that as well. I mean, again, it's about getting a lead early and settling in. That's exactly what the Bombers need to do, and to not take this game lightly. I mean, it is. I mean,
Absolutely.
even though Hobart has struggled this year, this is still a key Liberty League matchup. I mean,
Hobart's a great program. I'll give them that for sure.
And every time you're in a Liberty League matchup, nothing is given, especially when you're playing a rival.
And even with their unbelievable stats in the Liberty League this year, this is a Bombers team that has at times struggled against their Liberty League opponents. They lost 2 out of 3 to RIT, even though RIT on paper was not looking like as strong of a team. Alex Slaughter had a career day in that game. And while they didn't lose the series against Union, they did split that one. And yeah, they've had some losses here and there. This is not a guaranteed win, but at the same time, they're definitely in good position considering how they've been playing the last 2 days.
Last 2 days, again, defeating Hobart in that doubleheader in Geneva, New York, looking for the sweep, looking to build some momentum before the Liberty League tournament starts. And this is a team that won the Liberty League last year. So for the Bombers, it's about playing their style of baseball, playing their game, and basically showing the heart of a champion. That's all it takes right there.
Yeah.
And now to the flip side, the keys for Hobart in this game.
Yeah, keys for Hobart, as I was saying, is to make some noise in the middle of that lineup. If they can, I think it's the same thing with scoring runs early. If they can, in the first go-around of the lineup, get some runs on the board and get to Garrett Bell a little bit, they could be in good shape.
Yeah, I have to agree with you right there, and I think a big key, like we mentioned, I mean, this is a team that has struggled in terms of batting and even in pitching, and I think for Hobart, you'd really have to look at the pitching here. I mean, for Friedlander, it's about getting that quick start. And if Friedlander can get that quick start and get a few outs to begin the game, get a few outs to feel good, lock in, to play your game, and to make it tougher on the team you're playing against. I mean, so for I think you'd have to even take the pitching into account in this one for Hobart to absolutely not even give up any runs.
Yeah, Friedlander, while he has been off to a rough start on the mound, hasn't gotten quite as many reps as some of these other Hobart starters. He also plays first base in addition to pitching, so he's definitely a guy to watch out for. Could he have a surprise start against Ithaca like some other Liberty League pitchers have?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. And I mean, this is a game, again, even though it's Hobart has struggled, this is not a game to overlook. Yes, I understand it's I understand it's senior day. I understand you're home, but this is still a Liberty League matchup, and all these Liberty League games are so crucial, especially in this final stretch heading into Liberty League tournaments.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Liberty League tournament, based on what you've seen with this team this year, I have a question for you. How far do you see them going this time around?
I mean, there's a very real possibility, Andrew, that they could definitely repeat and become Liberty League champions. I mean, it will be a tougher road for them. They will, I mean, especially with Rochester, who will be standing in their way. I mean, that's definitely a team to watch in the Liberty League with
Absolutely.
that. Skidmore, RPI, the competition is absolutely there. RIT for the Bombers.
Yeah, RIT took 2 out of 3 against the Bombers. While they are lower in the standings, it could be a team to watch for an upset. And as you said, they have a lot of tough competition in the Liberty League all around this year. Rochester, and then RPI and Skidmore over in the East Division. So it's not going to be an easy road for the Bombers, but I think this is a team that's capable of going far if they're at their best.
And before the Bombers won that Liberty League championship, Rochester were the defending champions. So, and this is going to be, you mentioned for the Bombers.
They have the better record this year.
The better record, and Rochester trying to get back to their winning ways as champions.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm saying Rochester actually has.
Yes. And again, for the Bombers, focus on this game, make yourselves feel good, and build some momentum, especially starting here on Senior Day and even starting yesterday in Geneva, New York. Build that momentum and keep it going. Play your way.
For sure.
And keep it going heading into Liberty League tournaments. One game at a time. You can never, ever overlook these games or look at the next game
Absolutely
afterwards.
not. Yeah, I think every game counts for the Bombers here, especially with this one. It's going to be big in setting them up for good seeding in the Liberty League tournament, because getting another win on the board when there are so many other teams chasing them down between Rochester, Skidmore, RPI, it's going to be crucial. If they can get that home field advantage in the playoffs, that could be big.
Yeah, that would absolutely be a massive key right there. And really for the Bombers also, another key is, get those bats. You mentioned get the bats involved, Feeney, Fabo, Callahan, but also for Garrett Bell, the pitching side now of this game. And we talk about the powerful bats that the Bombers have, and I mean they are at the top of the Liberty League in run score per game, and they're near the top in batting average for a reason. It's about keeping your composure if you're Garrett Bell and to pitch your style, pitch your game, and to go out there and try to dominate. For the Bombers, obviously giving him run support, but also I think if Bell is able to get those first few outs and build some confidence, I think he could definitely play his game.
Yeah,
here.
Bell hasn't been as rock solid as some of Ithaca's other starters. Kyle Lambert and Colin Lehner, the top two in this Ithaca rotation, and they both went in the doubleheader yesterday, so they're going to have to rely on their rotational depth here in this one.
And this is a game that, even though the key for the Bombers here to get the bats going, a game that could definitely be a pitching duel. An offensive scoring game, because these are pitchers. Garrett Bell, 2 and 3 on the year, and a 4.62 ERA, and alongside with that, against Freelander, 1 and 4, 7.3 ERA. Two pitchers that have struggled this year, especially Freelander.
Absolutely.
So really, it's the bats that are key to this game. But really, another matchup that we might be able to talk about here, Andrew, is the Bombers' bats versus Freelander. But really, who can rock the pitcher first? Because it's all about which pitcher can be rattled first and rattling their confidence. So for Ithaca Hobart, I think it'll be the battle of the bats and who can rattle the starting pitcher first.
But I think it's very possible that we see both pitchers rattled very early in a very high-scoring game. I could see kind of a back and forth here, and it could honestly come down to if the Bombers have more left in the tank down the stretch of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this could very well be a pitching duel, but this could be a game also of offense. A game that could really go, honestly, either way. These are the type of games where it's like we could see the run score, but we could also see the pitching.
Yeah, if you look to the rest of this series against Hobart, they had a 7-0 win and a 13-9 win. So far the offenses have been strong, and that was actually with better pitchers going for the Bombers. So I'm expecting another high-scoring game, but a pitching duel would really be something here.
Well,
if it happens,
that is going to do it here on the pregame show. A beautiful day for baseball, Senior Day. Ithaca versus Hobart, a Liberty League matchup, and the Bombers looking to sweep these 3 games. Coming up next on the call, Eli Fishman and Jeremy Goldstein, so stay tuned.
It's time for Bomber baseball on the South Hill as the Hobart College Statesmen make the trip down Cuga Lake to face off with the Ithaca College Bombers here at Freeman Field for the finale in a 3-game Liberty League series. And on Senior Day here at Freeman Field, the Bombers enter play at 22-12 overall, 11-5 in the Liberty League, which puts them at third in the Western Division, while the Statesmen come into this one 8-20 on the year and 2-14 in conference play to cap off the first series these two teams have played since 1995, the first year back for the Hobart Statesman program. Eli Fishman alongside Jeremy Goldstein on Ithaca Athletics. We thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with us. And Jeremy, a team in Ithaca that ranks nationally in offense versus a first-year program in Hobart with a freshman stacked lineup.
Yeah, for Hobart, I think this year has been about just readjusting. Obviously, you're not going to have that powerhouse program you want in your first year returning after almost 2 decades or almost 3 decades, of not being active as a varsity team. But this is a Statesman team that started to string together some Liberty League wins against some teams that are expecting to beat them. So I think they've sort of found their footing, and this is a perfect way for them to end their regular season against Liberty League competition. A potential spoiling of a Senior Day win for the Bombers. A team in Ithaca that's had some rough losses against teams like RIT and Union over the past few weeks, and Clarkson last weekend. So this is, in terms of standing, this is an important game for the Bombers, and if you're Hobart, you're trying to ruin that.
An important game that Hobart will look to ruin. And here's the lineup that will be run out by first-year head coach in Brad Cook. Christian Petrie leads it off. He's the shortstop. Joe McCoy hitting second in center field. Ty Gallagher doing the catching. He's in the 3 spot. Will Jones in right field cleaning it up. Jake Slousen is the designated hitter hitting 5th. Isaiah Pinto is the third baseman hitting 6th. Michael Presbury is in left field hitting 7th. Nate Garrett at first base hitting 8th. Rounding out the order is Alex Morse. Griffin Snyder on the mound for the Statesmen, and on the mound for the Ithaca Bombers is Garrett Bell, the senior right-hander. He kicks and deals, and we're underway as the first pitch is a hit-by-pitch as Christian Petrie takes one off the front elbow guard. And one pitch and a hit batsman and a runner on for the Hobart Statesmen.
Yeah, as you heard in the pregame show, as long as the table can get set for guys like Ty Gallagher and Will Jones in the 3-4 hole, you're going to be in a good spot if you're Hobart. Petrie, one pitch, and is already on.
And McCoy digs in. First pitch is low to him from the right-hander Garrett Bell from Lansing, New York, a business administration major, getting the Senior Day nod, a 4.62 ERA. And 2-3 record for the Bombers this season, and the 1-0 is low for a ball, so it goes 2-0 on Joe McCoy, the junior center fielder, hitting .220 on the campaign for the Statesmen with no batting gloves, in from the right batter's box with a runner off of first in Petrie. And a pickoff attempt back with a dive. It's Matt Fabian at first base with the pickoff attempt. It's Ethan Rothstein at third, Connor Peterson at short, Riley Brody at second. Gilmarod behind the plate, Fabo in left, Nada in center, Callahan in right for the Bombers as the 2-0 is up and in for a ball right on the hands of McCoy, and it's 3-0.
We haven't seen Bell come close to the strike zone yet. A hit by pitch to start, 2 pitches low, and that one way up and in, some chin music, if you will, on McCoy. So this might be an automatic red light for McCoy. You think it has to be.
As the 3-0 out of the hand of Bell is up and in, and ball 4. Hit batsman to lead off this ball game, and then the walk, and it's 5 straight balls out of the hand of Garrett Bell to begin this ball game as Gilmarod, 5 pitches into this one, is going to go have a conversation with his pitcher. Here at Freeman Field, it's 334 down the lines, 405 to the gaps, 400 to center field. Bombers with the white pants, white tops, navy blue caps, navy numbers on the back with Ithaca across the chest, and numbering on the bottom of the right front of the jersey. Navy blue piping wrapping around the biceps is Hobart in purple tops with gray pants, and they've got white and purple lettering, or white lettering with purple outlines on the back and front with Hobart. In a bright orange on the chest is Ty Gallagher, the most dangerous hitter. Digs in, and the first pitch to Gallagher is in there for a called strike, the first strike out of the hand of Bell that we've seen today. And Ty Gallagher has more experience than anyone else in this Hobart team, a transfer student from Herkimer Community College, a national champion in the JUCO ranks last year. As the 0-1 is upstairs for a ball to the left-handed slugger. Gallagher hitting .360 on the year with a 1.137 OPS for the Statesmen. The big lefty looking to do some damage here with runners off first and second. Bell checks the runner, second comes home, and it's fouled back and out of play. Gallagher, the OPS, 5th in the conference. He's 6th in slugging percentage, 5th in on-base percentage. leading the team in virtually every single offensive category. As the 1-2 to Gallagher. Off speed in there. Called strike 3. He's punched out looking, and there's one out here in the first.
You like that pitch from Bell there on a 1-2 count. You expect him to try to get Gallagher to chase, but he goes to his off-speed stuff and attacks him at the same time. I don't think Gallagher expected that. That's a great rebound after allowing your 2 first hitters to reach if you're Bell. Gives you some momentum going forward the rest of the inning.
That brings up Will Jones, the freshman right fielder, who digs in from the right side, hitting .351. In his first year with this first-year Hobart Statesman program, first pitch out of the hand of Bell is, they'll say, off the knob of the bat. At first it looked like maybe another hit by pitch. He was kind of ducking out of the way, but Bell is able to catch a break as that one is off the knob. It's 0-1.
Regardless, a lot of his misses have been up and in a place you don't want to miss with the risk of a hit by pitch.
And the 0-1 to Jones is a breaking ball dropped in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2. So 5 straight balls, a walk and hit by pitch to start this game. Then he strikes out Gallagher on 4 pitches and now leads 0-2 against the dangerous cleanup hitter in Jones. Bell comes set, checks the runner, comes home with the 0-2. Breaking ball, check swing. And they'll say he did indeed go back-to-back strikeouts for Garrett Bell in the second.
A lot of Bell's misses when he's trying to get hitters to chase. Obviously more effective with 2 strikes in the count, especially while he's ahead. Good rebound.
So Bell steps back out onto the mound, and Jake Slauson, the designated hitter, digs in from the right side. And the first pitch he sees is a big swing and a miss on the fastball out of the hand of the senior Bell. With 117 and 2/3 innings under his belt, a reliever primarily the past couple of years, but the Sunday starter, so to speak, for the Bombers this year. As the 0-1 pitch is weakly chopped to shortstop. Connor Peterson next to the second base bag, and he'll step on the bag, go the easy way to get the force at second, which is the runner McCoy. So Slauson grounds into a fielder's choice to end it in the first, as Bell strands 2 runners on, working around a walk and hit by pitch. And we will head to the bottom of the first, but we'll keep it right here on Bomber Athletics as the Hobart Statesmen will take the field. And here will be the lineup as presented by the third-year head coach, David Valsene, that the Bombers will run out. Leading it off is the designated hitter, Colin Feeney. Louis Fabo in left field. He's been on a hot streak. He hits 2 for this red-hot Bomber team. Garrett Callahan, he had 4 homers yesterday. We're going to talk quite a lot about Garrett Callahan throughout the course of this broadcast. He hits third in right field. Matt Fabian doing the cleanup, getting the bump up in the batting order. He's at first base. Mike Nada, he hits 5th in center field. Riley Brawny hits 6th. He's at second base. Gil Moran doing the catching, hitting 7th. Ethan Rothstein at third base, hitting 8th. Connor Peterson, the shortstop, rounding out the order in the 9 spot. And he plays shortstop as well. And it'll be Griffin Snyder on the mound for the Hobart Statesmen, who enters play today as one of the top arms in this rotation. In 39 in the 3rd innings pitched, this will be his 8th start of the year, as he struck out 29 with a 7.32 ERA. And Snyder is a transfer from Russell Sage, who was in their first year as a program last year. 2 years of college baseball for Griffin Snyder. 2 programs in their first year. What are the chances?
Yeah, no, that's exactly. It says something. I think when you look at Hobart's program, he goes to one first-year program and decides that he likes Hobart's chances of getting their feet off the ground a little more. And Griffin Snyder is no slouch. He could really pitch. He has a complete game this year, and all of his appearances have been as a starter. So this is clearly a guy the Statesmen have their trust in, and they're looking for him to deliver big starts game in and game out. This would be a good example of one, and what could be his last start of the season.
Got some very good put up some very good numbers last year for Russell Sage, who's in the Empire 8. So Snyder coming over to Hobart in the Liberty League. He threw 34 in the 3rd innings last year, leading Russell Sage in wins as the first pitch to Colin Feeney. He's in there for a called strike, and we're underway. Feeney getting mixed into the lineup a lot more as of late, hitting .448 in 20 games on the season as the 0-1 out of the hand of the right-hander. Snyder is swung on and roped into the 3-4 hole through the right side of the infield for a base hit. And Feeney is on first base with the single to start this one off.
Yeah, you could tell you're a good hitter, especially in the leadoff spot, when you're able to hit that ball on the ground but still find the hole on the right side of the infield. No shift there, just found that gap between first and second base. Table's been set for Louis Fabo.
Louis Fabo, one of the most dangerous hitters in this Bomber lineup, swings and fouls the first pitch that he sees on the ground behind home plate. And Fabo, so many dangerous hitters, especially Fabo and Callahan, 2-3 in this lineup, but 14 multi-hit games, a .407 batting average, 7th in the conference for Fabo, 10th in OPS, 1st in hits. And he digs in with a runner on first and no outs. Here in the first inning as the 0-1 is in there for a called strikeout of the hand of Snyder. So it goes 0-2 on Fabo from Hewitt, New Jersey. The junior in left field today for Ithaca. Snyder comes set, checks on Feeney at first base. Comes home with the 0-2. Breaking ball, swung on and roped into right field, going towards the foul line, and unable to make the play in right field is Jones, as that ball will drop. A late start off of first for Feeney. He was waiting for it to drop, but he's able to get in at third standing up. So a base hit the other way as Fabo is protecting, gets some bat on the ball, gets a bloop single, and there's runners on the corners for Garrett Callahan.
Well, Eli, obviously this outfield was shifting for a pull, because you see Will Jones playing all the way deep into that right center field gap, had to come all the way towards the line to try to make that play, and it was a blooper. It dropped into no man's land. So good base running as well by Colin Feeney to recognize it and go to third. Runners on the corners for arguably the most dangerous hitter in the Liberty League.
I would argue that he 100% is. It's Garrett Callahan. Runners on the corners for the RBI leader in the Liberty League. He takes the first pitch on the outside corner, in there for a called strike. Callahan, his performance yesterday, we got to talk about that. In the doubleheader, 6 for 7, 4 home runs, 7 RBI against this Hobart team. Ithaca sweeping the doubleheader as it's game 3 of this series, as he takes a called strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-2 on the left-handed slugger, transferring from Rutgers University last year, where he spent his senior year, coming back to the South Hill, where he spent 4 seasons in Bomber Blue. With runners on the corners, the 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. It's the first out in the first inning as Callahan goes down swinging. First share of the afternoon for Griffin Snyder.
Well, what do you know, right? We see the first 2 hitters in both lineups get on, and then the top guns in both lineups, Ty Gallagher and now Garrett Callahan, strike out on 3 to 4 pitches. So we're seeing a similar script played out so far in both halves of the first inning.
That brings up Matt Fabian, getting the start at first base today. And the first pitch he sees is in there for a called strike. There have been a lot of position battles throughout this season for the Bombers. One of the big ones has been at first base. A lot of contributors. It's mainly been Fabian and Lobsher switching back and forth, 2 right-handed sluggers. As the 0-1 to Fabian is a breaking ball, dropped just on top of the zone for a ball to make it 1-1. But Fabian, in the at-bats he has gotten, has put up very good numbers, a .284 average, .790 OPS. As the 1-1, breaking ball just outside for a ball, trying to catch the outside corner. And going low away to the righty is Snyder. From Chicotagua, New York, is Snyder at 6'3", 220. And the 2-1 is swung on and chopped to the third baseman, Pinto. A big hop. He goes on to second for one, on to first. Not in time, as the throw is wide left, just up the first base line. So a run comes home on the RBI fielder's choice by Matt Fabian as Feeney comes in to score. They are able to get the other runner out on the bases, but Fabian now on first base, and it's a 1-0 Bomber lead.
Well, Fabian hitting that chopper so high, he's going to allow him to beat out the double play and force the rush throw to first base. Colin Feeney comes around to score. Like you said, Eli Ithaca on top first.
That brings up Mike Nada with 2 outs and a runner on first. The first pitch he sees is roped right to the glove of the second baseman, Morse, to retire the side, but not before. 1 runner left on base, 2 hits, no errors. 1 run comes across for the Bombers in the bottom of the first. They lead 1-0 as we head to the top of the second on Ithaca Athletics. And we return from the top of the second inning here at Freeman Field. Eli Fishman alongside Jeremy Goldstein on Ithaca Athletics. 6, 7, 8 due up in the Hobart lineup here in the top of the second inning, beginning with Isaiah Pinto, the third baseman, hitting from the right side against Garrett Bell, who hit a batter, allowed a walk, and then struck out 2 of the next 3 he faced. As a called strike in there to Pinto, makes it 0-1.
Right, with 6, 7, 8 coming up, I expect Bell to be more willing to attack.
0-1 is a breaking ball outside.
Again, as we go to the bottom of this order, a lot of players who are playing their first years of collegiate baseball, so I know they have a whole season under their belt now.
1-1 in there for a called strike.
But guys like Bell, who are veteran experienced, they usually tend to take advantage of guys in big moments like this.
The 1-2 swung on and fouled back. 5 freshmen in the lineup for the Statesmen, and then you've got quite a few transfers as well. Gallagher and Morse represent the transfers, and then Joe McCoy was on the football team at Hobart, was recruited to the baseball team. So a lot of fresh faces, clearly, as the 2-2 up and in. And that one is going to be off the elbow guard of Pinto. The second hit batsman by Bell in this ball game, and the leadoff runner here in the top of the second is on.
Yeah, you know Bell's stuff is as electric as it gets, but it's moments like this where you question if his command is reliable in high-level stages, right? Because we've seen 2 hit by pitches already, where he's only gone an inning plus. He hit the knob of the bat on another hitter in the first inning. On more high-octane programs, you can't afford to keep putting runners on like this, especially when it's guys towards the bottom of the order.
As the first pitch is up and in, some more chin music to Michael Presbury, the freshman left fielder for the Statesmen. In 37 innings this year, Bell has walked 13 batters and hit 5. Pickoff attempt back with a dive at first base is Pinto, but
is that coming in 5? 5
coming into this, so add 2, and that's 7. And a 1-0 count, another pickoff attempt, and Presbury back with a dive yet again to first base. Michael Whitehurst is the leading base runner. He was the leadoff hitter for almost every game so far this season. He's out of the lineup. The league leader in stolen bases is the 1-0. That one's in there for a called strike. But Pinto over at first base with 2 stolen bases on the year and a big lead, as it's now a 1-1 count on Presbury, hitting .250 with a homer and 17 RBI. As the 1-1 is another fastball in there on the outside corner for a called strike. You mentioned the stuff, though. Bell is kind of a 3/4 fastball heavy guy, good breaking ball, but one of those, high spin rate fastballs that is not easy to hit, and relies on that quite a bit. Another pickoff attempt, and that one a much closer play as Fabian applying the tag, but just in time. Yet again, back to the bases, Pinto.
And if you're these Hobart hitters, you got to realize that if the inside command on the fastball isn't there, you could pretty much take away half of the plate as another pickoff attempt is not in time. So if I'm a Statesman hitter, I'm looking on the outer half, and if it's coming more in on me, I'm more willing to lay it off.
Bell checks the runner again, comes home with the 1-2, and that one is chopped to the third baseman, Rothstein. On to second for 1, on to first, not in time. So a fielder's choice off the bat of Presbury. Pinto is out at second base. Nice play by the third baseman, Rothstein. The turn by Brawny, not in time.
These ground balls not moving so quick through the infield grass. Fabian played it well and made a good throw on time to second, but Presbury's speed, able to beat it out, avoid the double play.
That brings up the freshman first baseman in Nate Garrett. The first pitch he sees out of the hand of Bell. That one up and in again. I don't think we've seen a pitch outside from Bell. Everything's been up and in for the most part where he's missed, just as you mentioned. 25 games this year for Garrett, as the 1-0 is in there for a called strike to make it 1-1. A 2.05 average and a homer for Garrett on the year. Presbury with good speed, still on first for the Statesmen. And the 1-1 out of the hand of Bell is in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Gil Marad. Good secondary off second for Presbury, but no throw by the catcher, Marad. 3 stolen bases for the 7-hitter in the Statesmen lineup. And they're a team that plays a lot of small ball, likes to steal bases, likes to drop down bunts, as I'm sure we'll see today. Another pickoff attempt, but Presbury's back with a dive. And the 2-1 out of the hand of Bell is swung on and fouled to the backstop and makes it 2-2.
When Bell does get in these two-strike counts, we've seen him be able to put away hitters so far. 2 strikeouts this far in the early going. So I want to see him go at Garrett here. I wouldn't mind a fastball on the black.
2-2 out of the hand of Bell, breaking ball low and away. So the count is full. Goes back to that curveball, 2-2 and make it 3-2.
There's your outside pitch.
Still haven't seen one with the fastball. Everything's been up and in, but goes just outside with the breaking ball there. Garrett doesn't chase. Another pickoff attempt. And again back with a dive is Presbury. As Bell keeping a close eye on the base runners so far in this one. Likely to go back to that fastball 3-2, which is his bread and butter. And he does. It's upstairs again for a ball. And the fourth free 90 that he's allowed. 2 hit by pitches, 2 walks with 1 out in the top of the second. There's now runners on first and second.
Yeah, I want to go back to all these pickoff attempts we saw from Bell during that at-bat. You look at Major League Baseball now, you're only allowed 2, and then if you miss on the third one, you get a free advance to second base if you miss. So Bell clearly very reliant, on those pickoff moves. You wonder if that rule translated down here, how effective he'd be, especially in an at-bat like that.
And the first pitch is in there for a called strike, nipping the outside corner to Alex Morse, the junior second baseman. Morse, one of those transfer students that we mentioned as he came over from American International University. And the 0-1 out of the hand of Bell is just outside with the fastball. Morse hitting .231 on the year with 7 RBIs for the first-year program in Hobart. Bell comes set. Checks on the runner at second, showing bunt, and back at second base on the back pick. So more showing bunt there, and a big secondary leadoff second base by Presbury. Gil Murad, the catcher, heads up baseball, goes for the back pick, but back in time. Now a 2-1 count.
I love that throwback by Murad, especially off the bounce. I don't know if he's trying to catch the Statesman off guard, especially in scoring position here, but these big leads haven't come to fault yet.
And the 2-1 in there for a called strike. No bunt attempt that time from Morse with the top of the order and Petrie on deck. And we talked about it earlier, but this is a field where the grass, the baseball dies in this long grass and not in regular depth in center field. That could be a run if that ball goes into center field, as the 2-2 is swung on and chopped foul towards the Bomber bullpen down the left field line.
Bottom of the order is seeing Bell really well, and it's forced Bell to kind of expand. We saw an outside fastball earlier in this at-bat, so he's kind of had to go away from what he was relying on in that first inning where he was able to throw a scoreless frame. We're seeing a lot less whiffs from these last couple of hitters.
Another pickoff attempt back with a dive at second is Presbury, who's clearly caught the eye of Bell, and you mentioned the pickoff rule in the big leagues. I've loved the way, personally, that it makes runners run the bases, be a lot more aggressive, especially with their leads and their secondary leads, as the 2-2 breaking ball is swung on and grounded foul down the first base line in front of the first base coach's box. So a good fight by the 9-hitter in Morse to stay alive against Bell, who's looking to win the battle here.
I wonder if we'll ever see some of those rules start to come to the college level, especially Division III. Might be a while, though.
Bell checks on Presbury at second, comes home with the 2-2 pitch, and that one is weakly chopped to second base. Brody is going to go the easy way to first, so Morse is thrown out for the second out, but everyone moves up a station. So Presbury goes to third, Garrett goes to second. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Christian Petrie and the top of the order.
Yeah, with Christian Petrie, he's actually the hitter in this lineup that's seen Bell the least, because the first pitch of the game he got nailed in the shoulder. So if you're Garrett Bell, I think you can reset here with the way you attack the zone. Act like this is the first time he's seeing you. This is a big-time hitter here.
And the first pitch to Petrie in there for a called strike. You mentioned hit by the pitch on the shoulder on the first pitch of this ball game out of the hand of Bell. And he was stranded on second base after A walk and then 3 quick outs from Bell, including 2 strikeouts in the first. Runners on second and third. The 0-1 breaking ball in there for a called strike. Bell 1 out away from getting out of yet another jam in which he allowed the first 2 runners of the inning to reach base. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. The 0-2 breaking ball swung on, chopped to the shortstop. Peterson to the left of the second base bag, takes a step, throws on to first for the outside, retired. No hits, 2 runners left on base, nothing working for the Statesman. In the bottom of the second, in the top of the second, we head to the bottom of the frame. It's 1-0, Bombers lead. It's 6-7-8 due up for the Ithaca Bombers here on the top of the second. Eli Fishman alongside Jeremy Goldstein. It's a 1-0 game. Bombers lead from Freeman Field as the first pitch to Brawny. Is in there for a called strike out of the hand of the righty Snyder. Brawny, the lefty, playing second base, hitting .311 on the season. He waves and misses at the off speed to make it 0-2.
And if you're Garrett Bell, I just want to go back to the last inning for a second. You wonder how sustainable the way he's pitching is.
Shallow fly ball in center field off the bat of Brawny. McCoy takes a step in, and a can of corn for the first out.
Going back to Garrett Bell, this is the second time in both innings where you've pitched your way out of trouble, leaving 2 runners on base. Eventually, that's going to break. That's not sustainable, right? So you wonder if Garrett Bell's going to make any adjustments. Meanwhile, if you're Griffin Snyder, you're frustrated. You haven't gotten any run support in the early stages, and if you're Ithaca, you got to capitalize off avoiding trouble.
5 runners left on base so far. As a called strike in there to Gilmarod, the senior backstop on senior day here at Freeman Field as the 0-1. Another fastball, that one painting the outside corner. It's 0-2. Murad taking over the catching duties his sophomore year, has caught almost every single game for the Bombers the last 3 seasons as the 0-2 swings and skies one to deep center field, a few steps back for McCoy, and a couple steps in front of the warning track. He makes the play for the second out.
A pair of F8s to start this inning. McCoy looks good in center field. The wind's been definitely present so far, and McCoy's done a good job tracking both of those fly balls.
McCoy, the linebacker on the football team for Hobart.
Ask Matt Sasso, he'll know that.
I'm sure he would. On a very dominant team led by Rayshon Boswell and a great running backs room as Ethan Rothstein digs in, takes a first base breaking ball on the inside corner. It's 0-1 as Snyder shakes off a couple signs from his catcher Gallagher. Comes home with the 0-1, and it's a breaking ball outside to go 1-1. And many interesting things about a first-year program, as you could assume, but everyone's fighting for a job. You know, you come in, it's not like there's a senior that's been there as the 1-1, as a fastball in the dirt to make it 2-1. It's not like there have been guys that have a job. They've been here, they've been there, they're veterans. Everyone fighting for a spot at the beginning of the year. And a 2-1 out of the hand of Snyder. Again, a fastball in the dirt. That one slipping out of his hand. He spikes it a few feet in front of home plate to make it 3-1 on the Bomber 8-hitter.
I like this patience Rothstein's displaying. We've seen a lot of first pitch swings from Bomber hitters in the early going so far. I like the patience developing a count.
3-1, and that one is swung on and grounded. Pinto at third base takes a step back and throws it across the diamond. In time, side retired, a 1-2-3 inning for Griffin Snyder. In the bottom of the second as we head to the top third on Ithaca Athletics. It's 1-0. Bombers lead. Joe McCoy digs in from the right side for the Statesmen. Back in the top of the third inning from Freeman Field. Garrett Bell's first pitch to McCoy is in there for a called strike on the outside corner. The two-hitter walked on 4 pitches in his first at-bat of the afternoon as the 0-1. Again in there for a called strike, and McCoy now down 0-2 in the count. The linebacker on the football team for Hobart as he grounds one down the right field line and foul. Appearing in 11 games last season with 17 tackles and an interception as the 0-2. Breaking ball, checks his swing. Yes, he did. Drop third strike. Gilmarad picks it up, takes a step in front of home plate, throws down to Matt Fabian. Third strikeout of the afternoon out of the hand of Garrett Bell. McCoy goes down on strikes, and there's one out here in the top of the third.
Encouraging start from the right-hander. He started both of the first and second inning with hit by pitches, gets the out there finally as we're seeing the umpires meet on the first baseline.
And I think they'll say that he did get a bat on that ball for a foul ball. It looked like there was some pointing from the first base coach.
Strange because McCoy didn't act like it was foul. He immediately started jogging over to first base like he had whiffed on it and went around.
Looked like he did say something after he got to first as well. The 0-2 yet again, breaking ball in the dirt. Doesn't go that time.
You wonder if it was a dugout ask or if it was something the first base umpire saw.
As the 1-2 rather is swung on and missed for a strike 3. No dropped third strike there as the Bombers go around the horn, and that will indeed be the third strikeout. I was praying for that because I got a pen and I wrote
you and me both.
I wrote a K in my scorebook. So there's one out now officially as Ty Gallagher digs in from the left side. The first pitch he sees is a big swing and a miss on the elevated fastball.
I've been asked, like, why do you use pen on your scorebook?
Me
And I'm
too.
like, it just feels more organized
Me too.
when I do it.
Feels better, and
You don't run out of
exactly the 0-1 in there for a call strike. It's also you need to be precise because you know you can't erase it. You need to be right. You need to double check. You can't be careless with a pen.
No, absolutely not.
The 0-2 breaking ball in the dirt. Gallagher does an offer, and it's 1-2. I've thought about the erasable pens because they feel nice too, but it's still the eraser.
Right. Yeah, that's what throws you off.
The 1-2's upstairs. Back to the fastball goes Bell. It's now 2-2, and it's even at deuces as Bell deals the 2-2. That one is going to be roped into right field for a base hit. First of the afternoon on the Statesman side, and Ty Gallagher stays on with the single. That's the 5th base runner of the afternoon for Hobart.
Some redemption, if you will, for Gallagher. Was very frustrated after striking out with runners on first and second and nobody out to start this game, and potentially gets a one-out rally going for his team this time around.
We've seen some insane power from Gallagher this year, able to do it simply with the line drive single this time as the first pitch is in there for a called strike to Will Jones, who struck out swinging in his first at-bat. As Callahan looks in with the glove on the shoulder, comes set at the chest, the 0-1, breaking ball low and away. So it goes 1-1 on the freshman Jones in the 4-hole for the Statesmen. And he takes a 1-1 breaking ball low and away. So it will go 2-1 on Jones, who went 2 for 4 with 2 RBI in Game 2 yesterday of the doubleheader. This is the third game of the 3-game set. The 2-1 bounces off the glove of Murad, and that'll go all the way to the backstop. So Gallagher moves up a station to second base and a runner in scoring position representing the tying run here in the top of the third for the Statesmen.
That'll be a pass ball, too. I think that's a ball that Murad's got to haul in.
Will indeed go as a pass ball in the scorebook, and it's 3-1 as Bell checks Gallagher at second, comes home with the pitch, and it's in there for a call strike, so the count is now full with a game-tying run on second base in Gallagher. Ithaca won Game 1 yesterday 7-0, and Game 2 13-9. And the payoff pitch. Fastball low and away. It's ball 4. The third walk allowed and the 5th free 90 allowed by Bell. And there's now runners on first and second with 1 out for the Statesmen and Jake Slauson.
We're seeing a lot of true outcomes so far from Bell in this game. A trio of strikeouts, a trio of walks, and a couple of hit by pitches as well.
The First pitch to Slauson is a fly ball into right field, and right under it is Callahan. Tagging from second to third, nope, staying right there is Gallagher. A good throw in from Callahan on the shallow fly ball. And there's now 2 outs for the third baseman, Pinto. Still runners on first and second. They've already stranded 4 runners today here in the top of the third. And Pinto, the last hope, here in the third.
Something I'm kind of realizing is Bell's had more success when these Hobart hitters are swinging early. When the count starts to develop, that's when he starts to fall behind and run out of new looks to give these hitters.
And the first pitch to Pinto is a breaking ball low and away. Out of the hand of Bell, the Lansing, New York native, just up the road. He's going a couple miles to play his college baseball here on the South Hill. As the 1-0. He's just low. Goes with the fastball. Bell here on senior day. Looking to get a win for his team. And the 2-0. Fastball fouled back. And that one's going to be right next to the press box in the broadcast booth. Out of play.
Yeah, I need to see Dean Gusick make more of a play on that ball. He could have laid out for it, but unfortunately didn't show his athletic abilities there.
The pre-half post analyst not doing his job up here.
Nope, not doing his job.
The 2-1. That one is going to be grounded to second base. Brawny unable to pick it up. It's a bobble at first. Close play, but just in time to beat Pinto. 4-3 to end the inning. 2 more runners left on base after the single and the walk here in the top of the third. It's 1-0 Bombers lead as we head to the bottom of the third on Ithaca Athletics. Griffin Snyder back out onto the mound for his third inning of work after retiring the signed-in order in the second and allowing 1 run in the first. It's a 1-0 Bomber lead here on Ithaca Athletics. Eli Fishman alongside Jeremy Goldstein from Freeman Field as the 9-hitter Connor Peterson digs in, and the sophomore takes the first pitch, breaking ball in there for a called strike. And Peterson, the Liberty League Rookie of the Year last year, with an amazing season as the 0-1 is upstairs, breaking Tim Locastro's school record for hits in a season. The shortstop for every single game last year. And the 1-1 from Snyder, breaking ball, check swing, did not go, so the count goes 2-1. But, Jeremy, it hasn't been the same this year for Connor Peterson. Hitless in his last 5 games, a .211 average. He didn't pass the Mendoza line until April 5th. In the 9th spot, looking to get hot here as he skies the 2-1 into left center field. It'll be the center fielder, McCoy, calling everyone off in shallow left center. He makes the play, and there's 1 out here in the third.
Right, and I think what we're seeing with Peterson is we haven't seen a lot of batted balls where the exit velocity isn't what it wants to be. And I think he did a great job finding out a hole, spraying the ball the other way when he needed to last year. But I think the defense has adjusted to what he does. And when you don't hit the ball hard as much as you might want to, the hits aren't going to come.
First pitch called strike to Colin Feeney, who singled through the right side, came around to score on the fielder's choice by Matt Fabian in his first at-bat. And the 0-1 out of the hand of Snyder is low for a ball on the off-speed. And you talk about scouting reports and developing one, which other teams are clearly doing with Peterson. as the 1-1 out of the hand of Snyder's upstairs. In this modern game of baseball, you also talk about that, and you go and look at the other side of the field. You don't have any scouting reports on Hobart.
No.
And a team of inexperienced players, which could be an advantage as the 2-1, a breaking ball. That's going to be chopped to second base. Morse takes a step back, shuffles towards first, and onto first. A bang-bang play. It was a little bit of a chopper, and he took his time hustling down the line was Feeney. But the bang-bang throw is in time, and Louis Fabo will dig in from the right side after he singled in his last at-bat.
Going back to Feeney, he's somebody who has really broken out this season. Came in as a defensive replacement a lot last year, but is becoming the leadoff hitter now. Fabo's somebody who's hitting over 400 himself.
407 for Fabo on the year. First pitch he sees is a breaking ball, low and away. He went 0 for 6 in the doubleheader yesterday, so he's looking to get hot in Game 3 of the series as the 1-0 is low and away on the fastball. But before that, this was the first time in his collegiate career that he had not reached base in back-to-back games. The 2-0, breaking ball low for a ball.
Well, thankfully for him, he broke that streak in his first at-bat with that bloop single to right. And sometimes it's hits like that that really get you going and give you the confidence you need.
The 3-0 is up and in, rather catches the top of the zone, the inside part of the zone for a called strike to make it 3-1 on Fabo. The Liberty League leader with 55 hits on the 2023 campaign skies one foul down the left field line towards the Bomber bullpen, giving chases the third baseman Pinto. But that one will be over the fence and out of play. Presbury in left field giving chase as well. That one behind the Bomber bullpen, which is in play. That's not an easy area to make a play. There's a lot of room that's in play in foul territory. Like the Oakland Coliseum, a lot of space. The bullpen's in play down the lines, but
a lot of
running.
There's a lot more space because there's nobody who shows up, so they can really dive in the stands without really worrying about getting anybody hurt.
The 3-2, that one is going to be grounded down the line. Back pick by Pinto at third, throws across the diamond in time. Side retired, back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Griffin Snyder as Hobart will look for some run support in the top of the fourth as the Bombers lead 1-0. It's a 1-0 game here on the top of the fourth on Ithaca Athletics. Garrett Bell back out onto the mound. And if you're Griffin Snyder, the statesman pitcher, you got to have some frustration. 5 runners stranded on base by the Hobart offense. And back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings for Snyder on the mound. His offense not able to help him out. It's a 1-0 game. Ithaca leads as Garrett Bell fires in a fastball low for a ball. And it's 1-0 on the two-hitter for the statesman. That's the 1-0. A big swing and a miss.
It's tough to tell who really has an advantage in a game like this where offense has not been able to string together hits. I think it's all going to come down to Bell's control.
Presbury takes the ball low and away. Now 2-0. Ball slipping out of Gilmarod's hand on the throwback as well.
With the way this game's gone, you almost forget that Ithaca did get a run in the bottom of the first on the
Yeah.
RBI. It's all because Fabian was able to beat out that ground ball on the fielder's choice.
2-1. That one's fouled back out of play, so it goes 2-2. The Bombers started off with back-to-back bloops, or a ground ball single through the right side, then a bloop single, then a fielder's choice, which was able to get a run home just because, as you said, Fabian beat out the chopper as a wave and a miss on the 2-2 breaking ball by Presbury. He goes down swinging. It's the fourth strikeout of the afternoon for Garrett Bell, and there's one out here in the top of the fourth.
And despite this, the one hit allowed, you forget as well, if you're just tuning in, Bell has stranded 5 runners on base so far in this game through 3 innings in a third. So Hobart's had their chances. They just haven't gotten those big hits.
And the first pitch is a breaking ball. Dropped in there for a called strike to Nate Garrett, who walked in his last plate appearance. As Bell peeks through the glove at the belt, the 0-1. That one is going to be lined right back at Bell, who snags it himself. He'll take it over the first. And a light flip to Matt Fabian for the second out.
Very good sign if you're Garrett Bell, because again, your team has the 1-0 lead, and after hitting some batters, walking a trio of them, you're now at a stage where, okay, this is the first time he's gotten 2 consecutive outs to start an inning. He's clearly settling in, giving your team a chance to potentially break ahead after retiring this hitter in Morse.
Alex Morse digs in, takes a breaking ball just inside, turning out of the way of that one on a borderline pitch, getting fooled on the breaker from Bell as the 1-0. Another one, that one in there for a call strike. He ducks out of the way. Morse 2 for 3 with an RBI and a double in Game 2 yesterday. The 1-1 from Bell, breaking ball swung on and foul off the front foot of Morse. The transfer from American International University, where he played 2 seasons for the Yellow Jackets, appearing in 20 games, hitting .261. Going to be an everyday starting infielder for the Statesman. The 1-2 breaking ball fisted through the right side for a base hit, skipping out of reach of the diving Brody. Takes a breaking ball low and in, stays back on it, fists it through the right side, and a base hit, another runner on base for the Statesman with 2 outs.
It's a great piece of hitting if you're Morse, because not only do you keep the inning alive with 2 outs going the other way, but you allow your top of the order a chance to get some hits with runners on. Both Petrie and McCoy have gotten on. That was all in the first inning, but a chance for them to do some damage here.
First pitch to Petrie is in there for a called strike at the top of the zone. Seven batters have now reached base for the Statesman. And runner goes off by a mile, and he's in there standing up. A great read by Alex Morse. We talked about his speed on the bases the last time he was on, but an easy steal of second base there and a runner in scoring position for the Statesman. Has no throw on that one. He's got a big lead off of second now, and the 1-1's in there for a called strike with the fastball. It's 1-2.
Yeah, and usually Garrett Bell, we know him for paying a lot of attention. He's had a lot of pickoff attempts so far, but that time didn't even give any attention to first base with 2 outs.
Bell comes set, checks the runner Morse at second, comes home with the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball low and away. Peachtree does not chase the outside curve, and the count's now even at 2. Bell looks in for the sign from Murad with the ball in his hand behind his back. Comes set at the belt, the 2-2. Again low and away. That time goes back to the fastball, and it's 3-2. Jeremy, you talked about a minute ago, those lengthy at-bats. Bell has had trouble putting guys away early in this ball game. With the game-tying run on second base, and called strike 3 on Peachtree. He goes down looking. 5th strikeout of the afternoon for Garrett Bell, stranding the 2-out single on second base as Ithaca will come to bat in the bottom of the 4th, down by 1 run here at Freeman Field. And we return here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Griffin Snyder back out onto the mound. He's retired the last 8 batters that he's faced. As Garrett Callahan digs in from the left side, in the first pitch he sees is a fastball upstairs out of the hand of the Russell Sage College transfer to make it 1-0. Callahan struck out swinging on 3 pitches in his first at-bat back in the first inning, in which 1 run came home on the Matt Fabian fielder's choice. Is the 1-0. He's in there for a called strike on the fastball out of the right hand of Snyder, who peers in, gets the sign from Gallagher, gives a nod, and comes home with the 1-1. It's up and away to Callahan. The transfer from Division I Rutgers, who had such a tremendous year last year in the Big Ten. The 2-1 to Callahan. Breaking ball, a big swing and a miss.
He was trying to jump on that fastball and hit it, to the Hill Center, or Dillingham, if you will, because that was the swing that saw Callahan jump out of his shoes there.
4 homers yesterday as the 2-2. Another big swing and a miss. That one on the changeup over the heart of the plate, but he's way out in front of it and strikes out for the second time today. And that's the second strikeout for Snyder, both of them coming to Callahan, as Matt Fabian will dig in, who had the RBI fielder's choice to give the Bombers the sole run of this ball game back in the first, as the first pitch to him is a breaking ball just upstairs. Fabian takes a called strike and makes it 1-1 from Toronto, Ontario. The senior outfielder getting some reps at first base this year, where he starts today for the Bombers. Takes a slider in there for a called strike, and it's 1-2. He was 2 for 3 with a double and 2 RBI in Game 2 of the 3-game set yesterday. As Snyder, a couple shakes and a nod. Kicks in, deals the 1-2. Breaking ball low and away, no chase from Fabian, and it's even at 2. These games were supposed to be typical Liberty League format. Doubleheader Saturday, 1 single 9-inning game on Sunday. But rain pushed that schedule ahead as the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on, high fly ball right side. Foul territory. Garrett giving chase in front of the bullpen, but that one will be out of play.
Well, that's what we're at that stage of the year, Eli, right, where you can't just wait to see how the weather holds up because we're at the end of the season. So the safe bet ended up being to play these games today and yesterday, the doubleheader.
The doubleheader was in Geneva yesterday. The 9-inning ball game at home. The 2-2 upstairs. That's 3-2. Fabian working a good count here.
Fabian's got the game-winning knock, if you will, an RBI fielder's choice, but nothing doing since.
The payoff pitch. Fastball swung on, roped into right field, and that one will get down fair. In the corner, picking it up is Jones. Around first, on his way to second is Fabian. He slides in safely, beating the throw from Jones in right field, and a 1-out double for Matt Fabian. A Bomber in scoring position with 1 out.
There's some inning. There's some offense. First extra base hit we've seen today, a scorcher the other way. And you're looking at right field. Will Jones didn't get a good break on that ball. It was going to be tough for him to get anyway, but he had to go all the way deep into the corner. And that was chance for Mike Nada, who hit the ball hard to second base on a line out last time to get that big second run across and put Hobart in a deeper hole.
With 1 out now, big lead for Fabian off of second. Nada from the left-handed batter's box takes a fastball up and out to go 1-0. Nada, not really a power guy, but puts the ball in play. It feels like every single time. He's been the leadoff hitter for most of the games this year for the Bombers. It's the 1-0. Is swung on and grounded sharply to shortstop. Peastree behind the second base bag onto first. A pick at first by Garrett. Just in time to beat the speedy Nada. Moving over to third base is Fabian. Now a runner 90 feet away as Riley Brody will dig in.
It's a big scoop by Garrett. If that gets away, then you have a chance at a sac fly, an RBI ground out, if you will, or a fielder's choice. But Garrett gets low and scoops it out of the dirt for that all-important second out.
So that brings up Riley Brody, third on the team with 27 RBIs. From the left side, the first pitch he sees is a fastball upstairs for a ball. with Fabian and some big-time insurance on third base 90 feet away. Snyder checks Fabian, comes home with the 1-0. Fastball in there for a called strike. On the left-handed slugger, Brody, only a sophomore who's put up some impressive numbers throughout his career. And the 1-1 is a fastball in there for a called strike. It's 1-2. A stacked sophomore class. You look at Colin Feeney, Brody, Connor Peterson, Ryan Lobsher, and Brody with a chance to do some damage here with the runner 90 feet away. The 1-2 swings and misses at the upstairs fastball. He goes down on strikes. Third strikeout of the afternoon for Griffin Snyder. One hit, one runner left on base, nothing else doing for the Bombers. In the bottom of the fourth, we head to the top of the fifth on Ithaca Athletics. Griffin Snyder working around the one-out double off the bat of Matt Fabian in the bottom of the fourth to strand him at third as we head to the top of the fifth. It's 1-0 Bombers lead on Bomber Athletics. The first pitch breaking ball low and away to Joe McCoy, the two-hitter in the Hobart lineup. As the 1-0 out of the hand of Bell is swung on and fouled just in front of home plate off the front foot of McCoy. Recruited from Hobart. We talked about a linebacker on that talented Statesman football team. And the 1-1 out of the hand of Bell is swung on a weekly chop to Rothstein, charging. And he'll make the throw onto first base, not in time. The speedy McCoy beats it out just in front of the throw. So an infield single for Joe McCoy leads it off for the Statesman here in the top of the fifth.
That could do a lot because you have Ty Gallagher coming up now, and we all know what damage he's done. And when he has a runner on, it really limits how much you can truly attack him. So we'll see if Bell changes his approach in comparison to the last two occasions.
First pitch to Gallagher is a fastball low and in. Skipping in the dirt, kept in front by Gilmarod. Speed on first base for McCoy. We saw him making some nice plays in center field earlier today. Pickoff attempt, he's back with a dive. Ty Gallagher, fifth in the conference with a 1.137 OPS. The team leader in every single category, hitting .360 with 31 hits and 4 homers on the year. He fouls one behind home plate to make it 1-1. And we mentioned it last year, leading the Herkimer Community College Generals to the Junior College World Series and a Junior College National Championship, hitting .327 last year as he fouls the 1-1 down the first base line off the facing of the Hobart dugout, and it's 1-2.
Well, the last time Gallagher hit with runners on, he had 2-1, nobody out, he struck out in 4 pitches. So, but this is the third time he's seeing Bell, so I expect a more contact approach with a 1-2 count.
Bell checks the runner at first. A long pause, the 1-2, low for a ball. He goes back to the fastball. We've seen Bell pitch backwards quite a few times with the early count breaking balls. He went back to the fastball, 1-2 there. And the 2-2 goes back to it, but that one's off the elbow guard of Ty Gallagher. Third hit by pitch of this game out of the hand of Bell. Runners on first and second, still no outs for the cleanup hitter coming to the plate.
After that fourth inning, it looked like we were going to get a much better, more of a cruising outing from Bell. It looked like he was settling in, but these hit by pitches continue to plague him.
3 walks, 3 hit by pitches for Garrett Bell, and the corners will come in with Will Jones at the plate, expecting bunt, but Jones doesn't. And after a first pitch fastball upstairs for a ball, Gil Murata is going to go have a conversation with his wing.
It could be the smallest things, like the slow chopper Rothstein that was beat out by McCoy that just snowballs into a big rally. And now we've seen Bell, who's facing trouble, struggle to hit the zone again, and that was a big issue in the first. Obviously, he got that strikeout on Gallagher to give him some leeway, but he's going to need to get himself an out at least here, a ground ball.
This is a very much needed win for the Bombers, who entered today's game at 9-5 in conference play, third in the Western Conference. A 1-0 count on Will Jones.
Eddie Rivas is getting up in the bullpen as well for IC.
And the 1-0 out of the hand of Bell is in there for a called strike. So post-mound visit by his catcher, Garrett Bell fires one in with the fastball.
You wonder if Bell gives up a run here. Do they go to Rivas immediately, or do they give him a true chance to get out of the inning?
Bell checks the runner, comes home again. That one in there for a called strike. And he's bounced back quite nicely. It's now 1-2. This will be Bell's 90th pitch of the night. The 1-2. Breaking ball just outside. Looking for a call there. Can't get it on the curveball on the outside part of the zone. It's 2-2.
Dugout certainly thought it was strike 3.
An elevated heart rate here. A 2-2 ball game as that one is going to be chopped. And sliding behind the second base, in the second base hole, is Brawny. He can't make the play. Tries to backpick McCoy. So an infield single for Will Jones. Riley Brawny made the diving play in the right hole between first and second base. But no one was covering as Fabian was a couple of steps to his right, trying to field that ground ball himself, and the bases are now juiced. Jake Slauson.
We got the ground ball, but with both right side of the infield diving, nobody to cover first base.
First pitch to Slauson. Small and high fly ball on the infield in front of the Hobart dugout, and that one will drop.
I thought Fabian could have got that dropped in front of the fence, so it looked like Fabian might have been able to get there, but obviously tough to see from our angle.
Dropping right in between Fabian and Bell. A very tough play to make just by that entrance area to the dugout. So there's that hole you have to manage being able to stay in play. Not sure if it would have counted anyway, as that one dropped, right where the gate opens up into the dugout. But it's an 0-1 count on Slauson. 0 for 2 on the day. Checks his swing on the breaking ball. He didn't go, and it's 1-1.
It's not like Bell's giving up hard contact either. Aside from the hit by pitch, 2 soft ground balls that just didn't get to the defenders in time. The same approach has to be taken.
286 average on the season, and that one is going to be in the dirt. And headed home is McCoy, and it's now tied at 1 on the. We'll see how that will go in the scorebook. Probably a wild pitch, as that one bounced to the right of Murad, trying to get his body on it. Gets a little bit of bounces a few feet to his right towards the Statesman dugout. McCoy cruises in easily, and now runners on second and third. Infield in for the Bombers. And the 2-1. Swung on and missed. Back to the fastball goes Bell. It's 2-2. With what's now the go-ahead run, and Gallagher 90 feet away.
Takes away the force as well. Infield moves in.
Jones off of second. Gallagher off of third. The pitch is chopped foul towards the bullpen down the third base side.
think Coach Valcente made the play on that one.
Nice play by one of the coaches in front of the dugout. With runners on second and third and no outs, the 2-2 breaking ball again, chopped foul. That one just behind home plate off the screen.
If you're Jake Slauson, this is the exact at-bat you want to have, where you're really frustrating Garrett Bell, who's trying to get that first down, give him some leeway to work with, and you're continuing to foul off and get pieces of these breaking balls that he's expecting swings and misses on.
Slauson, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Bell goes with the fastball low. Slauson swings over it. That's the 6th strikeout of the afternoon for Garrett Bell. And there's now one out with runners on second and third as Isaiah Pinto digs in.
Pressure's on Pinto now. Infield's still in, but Slauson wasn't able to do his job and get that go-ahead run to the plate.
Showing bunt, pulling back and stuck in between third and home is Ty Gallagher. Run down ensues, and he'll be tagged out. Now a throw to third base. That one's not in time.
Oh, my.
So it didn't look like a suicide because Gallagher was not anywhere near off on the pitch as Pinto was trying to lay down the bunt, but he just got a little bit too much of a lead. The back pick by Murad, the run down. Gallagher's thrown out on the base paths, almost thrown out was Jones. He's in at third, and now 2 outs.
Gallagher not the fleetest of foot, but you wonder why, because of that reason. He's so far off the bag before the ball's even made contact with. And so if in a case where the bunt isn't made, he's going to be a dead duck.
Almost not even close there. Well beyond the base. Heads up play by Murad with Rothstein covering. As that one is going to be skied into right field and foul into the Hobart bullpen to make it 1-1 on Pinto with the go-ahead run still 90 feet away. And it's not necessarily the fact that Gallagher was out and the runner on third was erased, but how big that out is with there now being 2 outs. Is the 1-1 breaking ball dropped in there for a called strike, and Bell's one strike away from getting out of this one. He comes set. Comes home with the 1-2. Breaking ball low and away. No chase in the dirt. A good block from Gil Murad behind the plate. It's now 2-2. The go-ahead run, 90 feet away. Garrett Bell looking to get out of it. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. So we'll do the 2-2 yet again. This will be the 100th pitch on the day for Garrett Bell. The 2-2, breaking ball swung on and weakly grounded to first base in fair territory. Matt Fabian picks it up, steps on the bag, side retired, but not before. 1 run comes home for the Hobart Statesmen on the wild pitch, and 2 hits in the inning as it's now 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th on Ithaca Athletics.
Hobart gets the equalizer in the top of the 5th inning. Griffin Snyder on for his 5th inning of work as well. And the catcher, Gil Murad, will be on to lead it off for the Bombers against Hobart. Jeremy Goldstein, Eli Fishman here with you. As the first pitch is high, fly ball in a deep left field. That's going to hop on out of here. A solo shot for Gil Murad. And just like that, the Bombers on top 2-1. Michael Presbury took a few steps back, just gave it a glance as Gil Murad, who let a ball get by him to give Hobart the tying run in the top half, immediately makes up for it if he even needed to with a long ball to left.
What a shot by Gil Murad. The go-ahead homer. Ithaca had been chipping away. They had so many opportunities. So many opportunities on both sides with runners on scoring position. And the first pitch after Hobart ties this ball game.
Here's a third baseman, Rothstein swings and misses. It's 0-2 on the changeup. Oh, 2 from Snyder. Fly ball into right field. Jones is back, and he's going to slow down and make the catch. Looks like that might scamper over him, but the wind brought it back. Going back to that home run, Eli, we hadn't seen an extra base hit until the bottom of the fourth where Matt Fabian went the other way for a double, and now Gil Murad obviously with the homer.
Pitching had been dominant. There were only 6 hits in the ball game before the homer. And only 2 of them coming on the Ithaca side.
Here's Connor Peterson, a fly out to center his first time, takes low. 1-4-0 for the Statesman, 2-3-0 for IC. The 1-0 pitch to the shortstop is skied into right field again. Jones has been busy today, and he'll come in and make another catch. Made it a little tougher on himself than he probably needed to. 2 away.
A little bit of a tough read there. First went out on it a few steps and then came in, got a late break. But just before that one's able to fall to the ground, the right fielder Jones able to make a play on it. But the top of the order is going to be due up with Feeney.
Colin Feeney, we talked about how he's gotten up to over 400, 411 if you will, coming in, but he's 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Excuse me. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit. Feeney primarily a center fielder, but getting the DH spot today as he takes the 0-1 low for a ball. The 1-1. Chopped foul off of Gallagher 1 and 2. So we're probably in the top of the 6th going to see Eddie Rivas come in. Another one of those seniors honored on senior day out of Hialeah, Florida, where Nestor Cortez Jr. is from. One, 2 to the left-hander. Up and out, 2-2.
Curious to see if they do go to Rivas in the top of the 6th.
2-2 is chopped to second. The play is made by Morrison to first in time, but not before the Bombers get the lead back on the solo home run from Gil Murad. We'll take another quick break. 2-1 Ithaca, top of the 6th. Coming up next here on Bomber Athletics. Top of the 6th inning, again 2-1. Ithaca leads over Hobart, trying to complete the 3-game sweep of the Statesmen in their final Liberty League game of the season. Eddie Rivas is the new pitcher for the Bombers, the senior in his second year of being an Ithaca Bomber. A 7.20 ERA in 9 appearances. 1 save has been made. He's thrown 10 innings, 15 hits surrendered, 8 earned runs, 6 walks, 10 strikeouts. What do you make of this insertion into the sixth? I know 100-pitch outing for Garrett Bell. You probably weren't going to go back to him. You think you're setting up for a guy like Matt Chase to come on and get the save later down the road here?
I think absolutely. And you look at the command issues so far for Garrett Bell. Yes, only allowing 4 hits and 1 run in this ball game, but a few instances where Coach Valsente's heart rate was definitely up in this one, and you bring in a guy in Rivas. 10 innings, he's been lights out of the bullpen. You look at 10 strikeouts, but also in the command department, only 6 walks on the year, coming in senior day, and you want to get some of your seniors into this game as well. He came in yesterday in Game 2 versus Hobart and threw a perfect inning with 2 strikeouts. He's already seen this lineup, looking to get back at it.
And this is the place to put him in if you want him to be extra comfortable. 7-8-9 started with Michael Presbury, and he takes, I believe, one outside, 1-0. Presbury 0 for 2, grounded to a fielder's choice and struck out swinging. And he skies one into left and deep. That's going to get one hop off the wall. Thrown in by Fabo, and the first extra base hit is on the board for Hobart. A leadoff double for Presbury.
He got the inside fastball from there. Got the inside part of the barrel and roped it on one hop to left field. Way out of the reach of Fabo, off the wall, and at second base standing up. And that's how you return fire from a home run. And just like that, a runner in scoring position for the Statesman.
You could talk about Garrett Bell's command today, but one thing you can compliment him on, he didn't give up a lot of hard hit balls. That one was smoked off the bat of Presbury. Here's the first baseman, Nate Garrett, with a man on second, nobody gone. Shows bunt, but it's pulled back low, 1-0.
Well, I said at the top of this broadcast that this is a Hobart team that definitely likes to do their fair share of stealing bases, as they're 55 for 68 on the year.
That bunt gets down but foul.
They've also got 10 sacrifice bunts on the year as a team, and again, looking to see if they can get one down here, and we'll see if Garrett does indeed get it down.
Garrett did work a walk, is 0 for 1. Rivas looks back at second. Little deal. Another bunt pulled back, 2-1.
Breaking ball there, 1-1. That makes you think, did he know he was bunting? And also makes you think, how much, if you're the Bombers, are you going to accept this out? Or are you going to try and run a play where Fabian crashes and you're able to get the runner at third?
2-1. Fastball in there for a strike. No sign of a bunt there, 2-2, and he almost certainly, Garrett will not bunt here with 2 strikes. Fabian was moving onto the infield grass. He'll now move back beyond the first base bag. 2-2. In the dirt, good stop by Murad, the count full. You have both Peterson here and the second baseman and Riley Brody keeping Presbury as close as they can. Still a sizable lead, 3-2 coming. Swing and a foul back to the screen. Count stays full. Obviously on deck, the 9-hitter Alex Morse, who did get a single the other way his last time up. Before the top of the order sees new life. Lots of room down the left field line here as well. Rivas looks back and deals, and it's fouled above the screen this time. And we'll see the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming soon. Rivas working quickly here, the 3-2. Scorcher foul down the right field line. Another hard hit ball, but the Bombers avoid damage there.
Rivas goes fastball on a few straight 3-2 pitches. And a good job by Garrett of getting the bat on a couple. That one scorching it down the right field line, just foul. Less than a couple of feet to the right of the chalk. It's a break for the Bombers.
So their payoff, another foul ball. So we're up to 9 pitches now in this at-bat coming soon.
When you mentioned in Morse, who had a nice single the other way in his last at-bat on deck before the top of the order, this would be a big out for Rivas.
We'll do the payoff one more time. And another foul ball, this one towards the Bomber bullpen. Nobody getting loose, so this is Rivas' inning. Lots of runners left on base today. It's 2-1 Bombers. Another 3-2. That one outside, ball 4. An excellent plate appearance from Nate Garrett. And Hobart, once again, like they've been many times today, set up.
That's the 4th walk allowed today by Bomber pitching. And the 8th total free 90 allowed by the staff. And again, a jam. We mentioned the runners that have been left on base by the Statesmen today. Trouble knocking them in. But there's 2 duckies in the pond.
Here's Moore, shows bunt, and the bunt goes above the backstop and foul. Yeah, you look at Hobart, they do like to put down the sacrifice bunt a lot. Is that what you're teaching a team that's not used to collegiate baseball as much as a lot of other teams are, trying to just get the runners across and trying to scratch home runs?
I think it's not necessarily the fact that they're new to collegiate baseball. I think that's just a team approach in general, especially based off recruiting, as Rivas takes a step off the mound and will take time.
Because we're seeing, especially at the higher levels, bunting is not as popular of a method. As Matt Chase makes his way out to the bullpen, they say the bunt did stay out, so it'll be an 0-2 on Morse. Presbury off second, Garrett off first. 0-2 count with nobody gone, top of the 6th inning from Rivas to Morse. The 0-2, low 1-2, good layoff.
And you look at the walks so far in this one as well. 137 on the year for Hobart. That's the most per game in the Liberty League.
These hitters have been patient. Throw back to second, but the tag by Brody didn't get there in time. And Morse had that single and a stolen base, if you will, in the 4th inning off of Bell. Seeing a new right-hander for the first time today. 1-2. Another pitch down, and we're even. Garrett Bell at times, despite his handful of strikeouts, did struggle to put away hitters. Rivas having more of a struggle here, if you will. Good layoffs by a lot of these Statesman hitters. 2-2 again. Fouled back again. Two on, nobody out. 2-2 to the 9-hitter Morse. Another one in the dirt. We saw Rivas get a hit on Garrett, ended up walking him. It was 0-2 to Morse. And now the count full for the 2nd consecutive hitter. The 3-2. High pop into the shallow outfield. Brody under it makes the catch. And that is a monumental out for Eddie Rivas.
That's a huge out, especially in the fact that nobody moves over. And staying at second base is Presbury. Garrett stays at first on the fly ball to shallow center field, where the second baseman Brody went out to make that play. That's a good play also because Connor Peterson took a few steps back, preparing himself to be the cutoff man after Brody called everyone off. To keep 2 runners right where they are, it's a monumental first out, as you said.
Here's Petrie, the leadoff hitter for Hobart. An 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a strikeout, takes a first pitch strike. Infield position for the double play, especially in the middle, with both Peterson and Brody close to the second base bag with a runner on. The 0-1 and a step off. Hobart's out hit the Bombers 5-4. Both teams receiving their first extra base knocks in the recent innings, as that one is lined into left center field and deep. Fabo cannot make the catch on the diving effort. In to score is Presbury. Garrett's rounding third. He's going to be waved home. The throw won't even occur. It's a 2-run triple for Christian Petrie, and Hobart reclaims the lead for the first time today.
That ball deep into the left center gap. Both Fabo and Nada colliding. They both dove for that ball. Luckily, both missed each other, but they both missed the baseball. Went all the way to the wall. In at third base easily was Petrie. 2 runs coming home, and this ball game has been broken open by the Statesmen.
Here's Joe McCoy. He's had a busy day in the outfield. Also has reached base twice. He singled, walked, and struck out. Rivas in a hole. Infield comes in. They don't want to give up the run, but that fastball's inside 2-0. Pitch popped near us. It won't reach the booth, though, and it'll bounce foul into the parking lot. 2-1. Yo, have you ever made a catch call in a game?
I have not, but story yesterday.
Justin Antonucci did. I saw that.
I haven't. I've come close. Nothing yet. That's definitely on the bucket list. Justin Antonucci, my broadcast yesterday for the softball games at Kostrensky Field, made a great play on a foul ball right back to him.
2-2. Low 3-2, and we have another full count. You know, when I called a slew of baseball in Holyoke this summer for the Valley Blue Sox, we were in an old shed. That'll be ball 4 to McCoy. We really never had a chance. A lot of balls on the roof, but nothing that actually would come in. And now a really big hole, as I think that might do it for Eddie Rivas. Matt Chase has been warming up for a little while now and only was able to record it out. We'll take a quick break. Matt Chase coming on, trying to keep the Bombers within 1. So Matt Chase on for the Bombers, probably gone to a little earlier than Ithaca would have liked to, but need to in a crucial spot here. Matt Chase on this season, 5.18 ERA, he's 2-2. Has started one game this year, but has been more of a reliever. One save as well, 2 career saves overall. Another senior appearing on senior day is the first pitch to Ty Gallagher's ball high.
His one start came against RIT on a Sunday in-conference game. 8 innings, did not allow a run, only 5 hits with 7 Ks.
Swing and a miss. Fastball right by the lefty.
And he comes right into a challenge with runners on the corners for probably the top hitter in this Hobart lineup in Ty Gallagher.
Throw back to first, 9 in time. If you're just joining us, Ithaca was able to take a 2-1 lead thanks to the solo shot by Gil Murad in the bottom of the 5th, but ever since Eddie Rivas came on, Hobart's found their offense. A double walk, a pop out, and then a triple. The triple by Christian Petrie, the big blow. And then once Joe McCoy was walked on 5 pitches by Rivas, Coach Valicente pulled the plug on that. It'll be a 2-1 from Chase to Gallagher. That one high, called strike 2-2. Big 2-2 coming. That one low. So a lot of these 2-strike pitches, a lot of these Bomber pitchers have tried to get chases down low, but Hobart's done a good job laying it off.
They've worked at bats. I said Most walks per game in the conference. Patient.
Payoff. Ball 4. The bases are loaded again as Chase walks the first hitter he faces.
Jones represents the 7th hitter coming to bat here in the top of the 6th, and still only 1 out. Looking for some insurance are the Statesmen, and Jones is due.
Will Jones has reached base twice. Another player who struck out, walked, and singled as he goes around on that one, I believe. It'll be 0-1. Jones has also had a busy day in right field. A lot of righties going the other way in his direction instead to battle the wind. The 0-1, another wave and miss. A couple weird pitches where it looks like he hasn't ridden the ball well, but Chase ahead 0-2. For Matt Chase. A excuse me swing to first. Fabian goes home, and he's safe. The throw pulled him off the bag. It's 4-2 Hobart on a rare infield miscue.
One of those plays by Fabian. He's coming in quickly, has to get that quick release, and is coming in so quickly. You're so close to the catcher, you don't know if you flick it, you toss it, what do? He kind of short arms it, and it brings Murad just inches off the base towards the Hobart dugout. Another run in for the Statesmen, and the line keeps on moving.
That's going to be an E3 charge to Fabian. And if you're, like, obviously you can live with how Hobart's gotten their runs up, but that's something you don't want to let slide, especially if you're a team that's trying to get back to the Super Regionals for the 2nd straight season. First pitch to Jake Slauson is out of the zone 1-0.
Looks like we will actually have a pinch hitter coming in for Slauson. It will be number 10, Jackson Foe.
Throw back to third, and the tag not in time. Jackson Fowl, a first year out of Rye, New York in Westchester. Inserting another lefty into the lineup is Hobart here. Fastball strike. Count 2-1. There's a strike fastball 2-2. The 2-2 is high, 3-2. So no place to put foul. Chase has to go after him here.
6 runs scored, 5 RBI in the year for Fowl.
Big payoff coming from Matt Chase. It's ball 4, and that'll bring in another run. It's 5-2 Statesman.
The walk parade continues. That's the 4th of the inning by Bomber pitching, and the 7th of the game allowed by the Bomber staff.
First pitch is strike to Pinto. Now Hobart's batted around here in the 6th. More action in the Bomber bullpen. Is Landon White getting loose as Chase gets ahead 0-2. Oh, 2 coming. Swing and a miss. Finally, Chase records it out as Pinto goes down 2 away.
The first out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batters. After 3 walks, a fielder's choice, in which a run came home and ended up being a hit, as well as the single, or rather the triple.
Here's the guy who got it all started, Presbury, who doubled to left his last time up. A one-liner base hit into left field. Gallagher will score. They're going to wave home Jones. Fabo's throw does not come close. A big 2-run single for Michael Presbury, and Hobart's blown it open. It's 7-2 Statesman. 2 hits in 1 inning and 2 RBIs for the Hobart left fielder. Big day for him.
And this would be a huge win for Hobart and a huge loss for Ithaca, already in 3rd place in this conference, trying to work their way up.
That one's low and outside 1-0.
Ithaca 3rd, currently in the Liberty League. And they'll need some big-time wins in the crossover series in order to make it even into the Liberty League tournament.
Two-zero from Chase. Liner, another base hit to left. They're going to send home foul. The throw to the plate, not in time. An RBI single for Nate Garrett. His second time he's reached. It's 8-2 Hobart.
The 7th run of the inning. And this will be the 11th batter coming to the plate, as we will have another meeting at the mound.
A lot of damage done, obviously, here from Hobart. They recorded 7 runs, like Eli said.
Looks like it might be some stalling as well by Coach Valicene on the mound as he waits for his arm in the bullpen to get loose. And out there for a while now, White's been, and Valcente, or out there for only a few minutes, White has been in the bullpen trying to get loose quickly as Valcene stalling on the mound. And they finally, as the umpire was coming out to the mound to tell Coach Valicene to go back to the dugout, there will be a pitching change.
Yeah, when and White's coming in, we'll take a quick break. We'll see if Ithaca can get that final out when we come back. So here is Alex Morse to face the third pitcher of the inning, Landon White, the big first-year 6'6", 190 frame. He's thrown just 10 innings this year, but in a big spot. Deals a strike on the off-speed pitch, 0-1. A 4.50 ERA for White. He's 1-0 in 9 appearances. Has given up 5 earned runs on the year, 10 strikeouts, 5 walks. There's a fastball outside, 1-1. If you're Ithaca, though, Eli, how do you rebound from this? Because this is an unexpected inning. Obviously, you expected to not be down 6 runs, at the very least, by the end of it. Is the 1-1 from White is low.
It's the bats. I mean, you look at an Ithaca team that's hitting .339 as a team, top in the Liberty League in a lot of offensive categories, runs, homers, bases, average slugging percentage.
As that one is scooped into left field, but Faba will get over to make the play to put an end to a nightmare inning, to say the least, for the Ithaca Bombers. 7 runs for Hobart. They take an 8-2 lead. Ithaca has 12 outs to play with, though. We'll see if they can make a comeback when we do come back here on the Bomber Athletic Stream. Bottom of the 6th, Ithaca down 6 as a 7 spot by Hobart in the top half of the inning has put them in a hole. It'll be 2-3-4 for Ithaca, Fabo, Callahan, and Fabian. Eli, obviously, this is a tough hole to be in, but if any offense in this Liberty League can come back, it's Ithaca's.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, hitting .339 as a team, first in the conference in runs scored. The pitching has been solid this year, but the offense has been a whole lot better. Comeback needs to be brewing.
Snyder still in there to face Fabo, deals a breaking ball strike. Snyder's been sharp so far, just 2 earned runs and 4 hits surrendered in what's probably his final start of the year. As that one's in the dirt, 1-1.
Only 4 hits allowed, and on the 2 runs. A lot of weak contact. Really, the only hard contact was the solo homer by Murad.
That was a blast. The 1-1 doesn't even make the plate 2-1. And if you're Ithaca, obviously you want to get on the board quickly. But I think the way you start a rally, you got to be patient and develop some counts to make these pitchers work. As the 2-1, swing and a miss. Fabo caught with the off-speed 2-2.
And if there's anyone you want up to start off the inning in which you're looking for a rally down by 6, it's Fabo and Callahan, 2-3 in the lineup.
It'll be a 2-2. A high pop. Garrett looking, Jones looking, and a nice backhand grab by the first baseman Garrett for the first out.
And when you're looking for some momentum in the 6th, the foul out, and Snyder, he's really been so dominant. I mean, he set down 3 in a row in the 2nd and 3rd. Came in, allowed a double, but struck out 2 in the 4th. The homer then retired 3 straight on 7 pitches in the 5th.
Here's Callahan's had a rough day with a couple of strikeouts, and he takes a strike from Snyder.
And the production from Garrett Callahan after 4 homers yesterday. Looking for some noise out of your 3-hitter.
0-1 is dodged inside 1-1. And one of the big game-breaking plays you can consider is the simple throw by Fabian that missed home. That should have been the second out of the inning. You wonder, as that one's hit towards second, nice field by Morse, throw on to first, 2 away. If Fabian makes that throw, is it maybe 6-2, 5-2? Is it a more manageable deficit for Ithaca?
It's a very good question, and it's definitely hard to say, but I think it would 100% be less of a deficit. You could have gotten the force, and you could potentially gotten one more on the double play. You could have ended it there in that inning, depending on the throw.
Here's Fabian. That hit him. He got a piece of the umpire as well. Nonetheless, Ithaca gets a base runner with 2 gone.
And some questioning from the Hobart dugout, it looked like, too, seeing if he made any effort to get out of the way of that ball. But he stuck his shoulder pad out a little bit, and that one just doinks off the tricep.
Here's Mike Nauta. He takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. Nauta, a line out and a ground out the other way to the shortstop. So nothing to show for his hard contact so far, up with a man on and 2 gone. Shows bunt and doesn't get it fair. Count 0-2.
A lot of bunt singles, and Nauta, one of those batters who, with 2 strikes, he'll choke up, just puts the ball in play. One of those little lefty slap hitters, and he does a great job in his role. A lot of bunt hits. Gets on base quite a lot.
0-2. Popped up. This could be catchable. Gallagher, and the catch cannot be made. Instead by the third baseman, Pinto. So Nauta with some new life with 2 gone. Nauta's able to find his way on, Riley Brody will get a chance to hit next. The 0-2. Upstairs 1-2.
And just a short, no leg kick, no nothing approach from Nauta with 2 strikes. Feet planted into the ground, choked up on the bat, just trying to put it in play.
One of the better contact hitters on this Ithaca team is that one is gone the other way into left, but Presbury doesn't have to move all that much. He'll make the catch, and a statement-making scoreless inning by Griffin Snyder as he maintains his team's 8-2 lead. Heading to the 7th, we'll take another quick break. Again, 8-2 Hobart over Ithaca when we come back. Top of the 7th inning, some substitutions made. I believe Luis Fabo out of the game now. David Cifanelli, the senior, on senior day, getting some time in left field. Landon White back on as well for the Bombers. He'll face Petrie to start. Petrie had that big 2-run triple with 1 out in the 6th inning, and he got hit by a pitch for the 2nd time today.
And there'll be some argument from the Ithaca defense as they're saying that one was off the bat.
Yeah, and some fans even from up here.
Some loud fans chirping in at Freeman Field.
It's another example, Eli. We didn't see Petrie move to first immediately. He waited to the signal. He didn't think he got hit. So another questionable one. In his 5th plate appearance, he's gotten hit twice. So here's Joe McCoy. A walk, strikeout, single, and a second walk on his resume for the day.
That's now 7 walks and 4 hit by pitches allowed by Bomber pitching.
A lot of free passes as White deals a strike.
Especially in a pitching staff that's been pretty solid, a 4.87 ERA on the year. And the command's been pretty good in general. Only 100 walks coming into today in 290 innings.
0-1. Breaking ball just missed. 1-0-1.
And the whole lot of walks, whole lot of hit by pitches today. Uncharacteristic for the Bomber staff.
A 1-1 coming to the multi-sport athlete. And there's a strike 1 and 2. Wonder if we'll see Landon White go a long way here. Nobody up in Ithaca's bullpen, and Ithaca needs to eat outs. Throw back to first, and Fabian has to come off the bag to grab it. Wind has certainly picked up here as we've gotten to the later innings. Top of the 7th, 8-2, Hobart leads. The 1-2 from Landon White. Runner goes, pitches outside, but Petrie does retreat back to first.
Three-sport athlete, McCoy in high school. Hockey, baseball, and football.
Hobart's hockey team.
Hobart's hockey team, the national champions.
Yep. Is that one down? Only if you played hockey here, that would make it even better.
That would be quite the accomplishment. Don't know how physically possible it would be.
Payoff coming. Grounded to short. Peterson flips the second for 1. Throw to first. It's a double play. A big turn of 2 for the Bomber infield. And Landon White gets a big assist. 2 away.
And after the hit by pitch with a runner on first, definitely a rally killer. As always is the double play. Peterson, quick, the nice turn to Brody onto first. So 2 quick outs.
Here's Ty Gallagher with 2 gone, and he gets plunked. This has to be nearing, Eli, a record. I wonder if we can figure this out for the most total hit by pitches we've seen in an Ithaca baseball game.
Would not be surprised at all. That's the second time Gallagher's been hit.
Yeah, okay, so let's look at Hobart. Petrie has been hit twice. Gallagher's been hit twice.
I've got 5.
Pinto's been hit. You look at Ithaca, I don't think any of that. Oh, yeah. Fabian's been hit once after that last one. So 6 total. Here's Will Jones. He takes a strike. 8-8 nothing for Hobart. 2-4-1 for the Bombers. Top of the 7th inning, 2 gone. White deals. Off speed, 0-2. Obviously, it's been frustrating the last couple of innings, but if you look at Landon White, as the 0-2 is low 1 and 2, you have to like what you're seeing because you're seeing a first year who's got a big frame, somebody who's the potential to be an absolute nasty arm for you down the road, deliver some important outs late in the season. 1-2. That's down. Will Jones has struck out, walked, singled, and reached on the Fabian error. Breaking ball wave and a miss. Nice chase delivered by Landon White. A scoreless frame delivered by White. Ithaca will try to tack on some more runs when we come back here in the Bomber Athletic Stream. So bottom of the seventh inning, Ithaca still looking to do some more damage off Griffin Snyder, who's out for his seventh inning of work. Landon White delivered a scoreless top of the seventh. We'll start with Riley Brody to kick off the, again, bottom of the seventh inning. As there is a strike to the left-hander.
John Griffin now out in the bullpen for the Bombers down the left field line.
0-1. Swing and a miss and a pitch down. Zane Grimes, I believe, is the pitcher getting loose, the senior. So all these seniors getting involved here on senior day. Grimes has thrown some important innings for Ithaca as well, as 0-2 is dealt outside. The 1-2. Barely got a piece to stay alive. Bit of a defensive swing, if you will.
A very defensive swing, kind of stepping up into the batter's box, waving the arms. Is Brawny.
1-2. Popped up toward the Bomber dugout. Will go out of play. What's the pitch count? Can you find that out for me on Snyder?
Jeremy, I would be happy
to
find the pitch count for you. 81,
81.
entering this at-bat.
Very economical innings. From Snyder, the 1-2. Grounded it to the right side and threw for a base hit. So Brody gets on as the leadoff runner for the Bombers and potentially the start of something.
Well, a great at-bat, fouling off a few pitches, and then just a little seeing eye single through the right side of the infield, something needed by the Bombers.
And per usual, walking up to every time we touch.
It's a great walk-up
Gil
song.
Murad, solo shot his last time up.
Getting the fans into it, the claps, the dugout fired up too, as always.
That's high, 1-0. Some dual action, some action in Hobart's pen. I want to say, can't exactly see who that is down there. Might be Jake O'Connor, number 24. 2-0 coming to the catcher, Murad. Brody leads off first with nobody out. 2-0. Taking all the way, strike. On the off-speed pitch, 2-1. It's going to have to be this bottom of the order that gets the rally going. But if they're able to produce, Eli, you like to think his chances at making this a safe situation at least, as that one's fouled back.
This is a Bomber team we've seen all year. Innings 1 through 9 out, 1 through 27. They've got a lot of fight in them. And still 9 outs that Hobart would have to get. Still a lot of baseball left.
2-2. High pop-up. Middle of the infield, and the catch will be made by Petrie for the first down. So good job by Snyder. Down 2-0 after giving up that leadoff hit. Chance to really have a snowballed travesty in the bottom of the seventh, but he does find the zone and get the pop out.
He's been so efficient so far. Again, only a sophomore. I mean, this Hobart team, 8-20 on the year, 2-14. Maybe not the numbers that you want.
You don't have the veteran leadership that a lot.
You don't have the veteran leadership, but in the future you're gonna. And you look at Snyder, you look at a staff with some pretty good arms, a lot of talent, especially in the middle infield.
Snyder up 0-2 on Rothstein, who's looking to reach for the first time after grounding to third and flying out the other way.
And Peachtree and Morse up the middle. McCoy in center, a junior. Gallagher, a junior, academically behind the plate. So 3 years of eligibility left.
Snyder doesn't have the most strikeout stuff, just 3 on the day, but he's gotten a lot of weak contact. His benefit is that one's low.
2 of those strikeouts coming to Garrett Callahan as well, who's behind Fabo, I'd say, or maybe behind Nada and Fabo, the third toughest hitter to strike out for the Bombers.
We've really seen Callahan try to swing out of his shoes today as well on a couple of occasions. As that one's booted foul. And the one thing that's really plagued Bomber pitching on all 3 arms we've seen, or 4, is the walks and the hit by pitches. 1-2. 2-2.
7 walks by the Bombers offense and by the Bombers pitching rather, and the 5 hit by pitches has not helped their case.
The 2-2. Chop towards the middle of the infield. Morse throws to second for 1 on to first, a double play, and Griffin Snyder gives a blatant fist bump as he's worked 7 strong innings of 2-run ball. We'll head to the 8th when we come back. It's 8-2 Hobart here in the Bomber Athletic Stream. Zane Grimes is the new arm for the Bombers. His team down 8-2. Top of the 8th inning. About set to get underway. 6.43 ERA and a 1-0 record in 3 appearances. 1 start for Grimes as well. He's thrown 7 innings, surrendered 7 hits, 5 runs, 13 strikeouts, and 4 walks. He'll face Jackson Fowl. For a ball 1-0. That pitch in the dirt 2-0. It'll be Fowl, Pinto, and Presbree in the top of the 8th. There's a strike. Grimes appeared against Alfred State in that bomber route of the Pioneers. 2-1 pitch is popped up. Going to be tough for anyone to get there. Cifanelli giving it a chase but can't get it. It'll be 2-2.
Grimes got a start on the spring break trip to Auburndale versus Roger Williams, where he struck out 7 in 4 innings, allowing 3 runs. Most recently throwing on April 14th, rather April 16th against Union, where he threw a perfect inning with 2 Ks.
2-2. Strike 3 called. Foul down on strikes, 1 away.
So 14 strikeouts in 7 1/3 innings this year for Grimes. He's a strikeout pitcher and showing it here again with 1 out.
So Grimes' 14th strikeout of the season. Gets the first out of the 8th. And here's the first pitch to Pinto. Called outside, 1-0. Pinto 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. He's been solid at third, and that's a line drive in a left. Cifanelli tracks it well for the second out.
That one shot off the bat at Pinto. Some very hard contact into left center field, but a few steps to the left for David Cifanelli coming in as defensive replacement for Fabo on Senior Day.
And if you're Pinto, right, you're one of the only Hobart statesmen who's struggled to really truly join the party, and when you get a hit like that, it can't fall. A little frustrated, but your team's on top. Here's Michael Presbury. He's had a day. On top as he takes inside, on top of playing a great left field, did ground it to a fielder's choice and struck out his first 2 at-bats, but a double and a single all coming in the 6th along with 2 ribbies. The 1-0 is swung on and missed.
He's reached base in 3 of the 4 at-bats, the fielder's choice as well. That foul ball off Gilmarod.
Yeah.
So the umpire will take a second to go out to the mound and hand the pitcher a new ball in Grimes, but the training staff took a couple steps out of the Bomber dugout, and the senior Murad said, not taking me out of this ball game.
Catchers are the toughest players in the field. 1-1. Fastball strike, 1-2.
Ithaca is slated to play Brockport on Tuesday. A lot of rain in the forecast, so we'll see about that one. But after that, it will be the crossover series, and then Liberty League playoffs.
And even if Ithaca has to play the crossover series and make a run on the road, if you will, it's their offense that gives you confidence they can do it. It's just about getting productive outs. Obviously, Kyle Lambert will shut a team down for you. Colin Lehner has had a great season, but it's the Jack Colliers and the Garrett Bells is the 1-2. Did he go? No, he did not. 2-2. It's the Lehners, the Bells, and even the Grimeses, if you will, who are going to have to and Matt Chases, who are going to have to get those productive outs even late in games and potentially save your season. It's the 2-2. It's chopped foul to stay alive.
We haven't talked about Jack Collier this broadcast, and what a job he's done yesterday. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts on the mound. The freshman coming in. He's usually been the midweek starter, getting a few weekend starts for the Bombers here and there. Threw a gem against Scranton in a midweek a couple weeks ago. He's been lights out.
Was great against Alfred State as well a few weeks back. I was on the call for that one. 2-2. Strike 3 called at the belt. And Presbury down looking. The second strikeout looking issued by Grimes. Ithaca's got 6 outs to get 6 runs. Can they do it? We'll see when we come back. Colin Shaddy, who's had quite this season, hitting over 475 now. Will pinch hit for Connor Peterson. Just one of those hitters, Eli. Just a phenomenal bat on ball. Righty. Loves to use the middle of the infield. He'll face Griffin Snyder. First pitch taken low and away.
Colin Shishani with a big couple of days at the plate at the beginning of this series, earning a late pinch hit at bat here.
The 1-0. Takes a strike.
And you look at Shishani's last couple of games off the bench. He's done his part, 2 for 3 with 2 RBI in game 2 yesterday.
That one's grounded to the left side. Tough play for Petrie. He's going to boot it. That could be an E6, and Shishani reaches.
Down to the fence as he reaches first base, and Shishani doing what he does best. Let's get on base.
And look, even though that won't be a hit for him, you can credit his speed, right? Forcing
Absolutely.
Petrie to have to make a quick decision on that ball. And once he didn't field it cleanly, it was over. If he gets the leadoff runner on for the top of the order, here's Colin Feeney. Went off this game with a single to right. Takes low and in.
I'll be curious to see who goes to shortstop for Peterson as well. It's been this freshman Kaplan now and then we've seen at shortstop when Peterson has been out of the game.
Feeney takes down and in 2-0. So this is the same spot I think I had last inning. A leadoff runner on, and the number 2 hitter of the inning with a 2-0 count, but Snyder was able to rebound. Got a double play at one point in the inning as well. 2-0. Feeney taking all the way, a strike at the knees. Cifanelli waits on deck. The senior outfielder inserted into left for Fabo, as that one is smoked. Almost drilled the third base coach.
Great play by Ethan Adabo in the bullpen, diving to keep that ball in front of him. But watch out, Coach Valseni in the third base coach's box getting out of the way.
Two coming to Colin Feeney. Strike 3 called. And Snyder rebounds again from a 2-0 count with a runner on and nobody gone for the first out.
And that one's only the 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Snyder. Not been a strikeout pitcher, a lot of weak contact, a lot of infield fly balls. Goes with the strikeout there. Was trailing 2-0 in the count, as you mentioned, and gets the punchy looking.
Here's Cifanelli. First at bat of the game, takes a strike.
.250 average on the season for Cifanelli, 13 games played.
Grounds that one to the right side, could be 2. Morse throws to Petrie for one on to first, and the scoop cannot be made by Garrett. We almost saw an exact replica of the bottom of the 7th inning, where we saw the leadoff runner get on, a strikeout after a 2-0 count, and then a double play, but Garrett could not scoop the ball.
And a very clean turn by the middle infield, but it was the throw by the shortstop, Petrie, just a little bit in the dirt. Unable to make the pick was Garrett at first.
Here's Callahan. Another strike. That one's high. Callahan 2 strikeouts, a ground out to second. Rare off day for him. 1-1. Another strike, 1-2.
The only Bomber to be retired on strikeouts twice. Only 4 on the day for Snyder, as we talked about. 2 of them coming to the power hitting Callahan.
The 1-2. That's up and out. Two coming to the Bomber right fielder. A rocket into right field. It'll hop in front of Jones for a base hit. Cifanelli will go all the way to third. And Ithaca's got runners on the corners with 2 away for Matt Fabian.
And Fabian's been on base all 3 times today. The RBI fielder's choice, the double, and the hit by pitch. Runners on the corners, and a Bombers team looking at chip away. The 4-hitter Fabian, probably the guy you want up.
Carter Kowalczyk, also the reliever getting loose, the senior for the Bombers in the pen. Here's Fabian, big spot. Grounder to Petrie. Can he redeem himself? The flip to second. Yes, he can. And Ithaca leaves 2 stranded. Another scoreless inning for the Bomber offense. They got 3 outs left, but we'll play the top of the 9 first here on the Bomber Athletic Stream. Top of the 9th inning, 8-2, Hobart leads. Garrett, Morse, and Petrie for Hobart against Carter Kowalczyk. And Eli, I know you got some stuff to say about him.
2.1 career innings, getting the nod for the 9th on Senior Day.
Kowalczyk deals a strike.
He's struck out 1, allowed 4 walks in his career. Those 2.1 innings, 0.2 of them coming in 2020, 1.2 coming in 2022.
Swing and a miss.
So this is his first appearance of the season, coming in a big fashion in a Liberty League game in the 9th inning on Senior Day.
0-2 from Kowalczyk. Outside, 1-2. Kowalczyk, again, 2 appearances last season. Pitched 2/3 of an inning in his freshman season. First appearance his senior season, as that one is skied into deep left field. Cifanelli looks up, and it's gone. A home run for Nate Garrett on a 1-2 pitch. It's 9-2.
Second homer of the season for Garrett. Second RBI of this ball game.
You know, it almost looked like, it looks like Kowalczyk pitches with slight lesser velocity. You might
A lot.
So
Soft throwing lefty.
it might have been Garrett who took a while to adjust to the new velocity, and then once he adjusted on a 2-strike pitch, he's able to drive one to deep left. So here's Morse with nobody out and a 7-run cushion. Takes a breaking ball strike. 1-0. Liner in the left and a base hit. So Morse with his second knock of the afternoon. And we'll go back to the top for Christian Petrie in his 6th plate appearance of the game.
It's how you know you've had a good day offensively as a team when you're coming around the order for the 6th time.
You know, Petrie had that big blow, the 2-run triple in the 6th off Eddie Rivas. There's a ball.
Hit by pitch twice.
One of the 6 we've seen today. 1-0. There's a strike. One. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Second 2-strike count set up by Kowalczyk. Here is the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Petrie down on strikes for the second time.
The second collegiate strikeout. How about it for Kowalczyk in the first of this ball game for the lefty?
Here's Joe McCoy. Popped up. Should leave the park. Will go out of play. 0-1.
Kowalczyk from Jamesville DeWitt High School. Pretty solid baseball program.
The 0-1's high. McCoy, a junior, so he'll play again football next year, as expected, and then have a chance to lead this baseball team to potentially a little bit of a better season. They're definitely ending their Liberty League year on a good note today. The 1-1 is fouled back. Here's the 1-2 to the righty. In the dirt, it gets by Murad, and Morse can just walk to second. So a 2-2 from Kowalczyk to McCoy. Runner on second, 1 out. Hobart up 7-9-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks to the top of the order for the left-hander. There's 2 away. And here's Ty Gallagher with 2 gone. Gallagher struck out looking in the first, singled in the third, got hit by a pitch in the 5th, walked in the 6th, and got hit by another pitch in the 7th. So he's reached his last 4 plate appearances. As there is a strike, and overall, just Gallagher's 1 for 2.
Hey, but that's an 800 batting average on the day, or 800 on base percentage, excuse me, on the day. So no complaints, maybe a couple bruises along the way, though.
0-1 from the lefty. High 1-1. You know, there's been in baseball. There's always a controversial discussion around batting average. People think it's not as important as other.
It's not
people
important.
do.
Batting average is irrelevant, Jeremy.
What is your go-to stat? OPS plus? OPS?
OPS.
OPS. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Because 1 and 2. Because OPS, it measures not only do you get extra base hits, you get big hits, but also do you get on base.
Exactly. And those are the 2 most valuable things. Depends how much you weigh the other, but you combine slugging and on base percentage together. Batting average is an irrelevant stat.
1-2 coming to Ty Gallagher. Lefty on lefty, and that hit him for the 3rd time today. It's almost comical at this point. Between Petrie and Gallagher, there's been 5 hit by pitches. As here comes Will Jones.
The 8th hit by pitch in this ball game.
That it is. There's a strike. If you're Gallagher, right? Yep, you're gonna have to deal with some bruises, some soreness maybe the next day. But you're technically you got on base 5 out of 6 times. It's gonna look great for your stats profile as that gets down 1-1.
Reaching base 5 out of the 6 times. He was 5th in the conference in OPS coming into today, so that's gonna get bumped up for Gallagher.
1-1 is fouled back. One, 2 to Jones, the right fielder. Breaking ball, sailed high, didn't break. It's 2-2. Another 2-2 coming. Pitch. Popped up. Out of play it goes on top of the Hobart dugout. We'll do it again. Why not another 2-2? Blooper towards second base, and it's put away by Brody to end the inning. So Kowalczyk, in what might be a senior send-off, gets 2 strikeouts in the top of the 9th. If they could need 7 runs to tie, can they do it? We'll see when we come back here from the Bomber Athletic Stream. Griffin Snyder looking for his second complete game of the year. He does have his although this would be his first real one. The last one came where he got rocked around in Rochester, and the game got mercy ruled in 6 innings. Here, Mike Nada, that was against, Rochester. I was right the first time. Mike Nada will lead it off against Snyder. Nada 0 for 3. As the umpire has to halt it so the music can stop being played.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, it happened in high school. I've seen it when I was in charge. As that one's down.
When you were in charge of the music, that makes sense. No, but I think they usually just play through, and often the pitcher will kind of wind up and try to pitch while the music's still playing.
As that one's chopped to first base, Garrett will easily move to first. Close play, not a safe. A nonchalant play by Nate Garrett, not a hustling down the line. That's the type of player he is. So Ithaca gets their leadoff runner on for the 3rd straight inning.
Well, you said it. That's the kind of player that Mike Nada is. A little hustle single. Garrett didn't know if he should flip it or take it himself. Nada was going to be safe either way.
Desperation here from Ithaca as Brody swings and misses, because if Ithaca loses this game, which it looks like they might do, according to SID Frank Myra, the Bombers will not be hosting the crossover series next weekend if they do fail to win.
And Vassar currently in 3rd place over in the Eastern Conference, or in the Eastern Division rather, so it would likely be in Poughkeepsie.
Brody skies that one into center field. McCoy makes the catch, first out. Here's Gil Murad. Obviously has the home run today.
Vassar hosting RPI for a doubleheader today in Poughkeepsie.
As there's a ball, though Rochester win over RIT helps, because if Rochester sweeps the Tigers, doesn't that mean Ithaca gets second place?
Let's take a look at the standings. I don't believe so.
Because that one's low.
Yes, you would be correct. So that would move them up to second place. And RPI playing Vassar.
And RPI would have the better record. So
RPI would have the better record, so that it would likely
be played in Troy, because that one's outside. It's 3-0. Probably a red light here for the Bomber backstop. As Snyder deals, there's a strike.
Rochester winning 9-3 in the first game, and 2 more in that series. But
in RIT,
if RIT wins 1, then I believe they would still be on top.
As that one's ball 4 to Murad, so Ithaca trying to put something together here with 1 out in the 9th.
I'm not a bracketologist.
Well, you were just learning
However they
basketball
call
for the first time this winter, so
Wow, going crazy.
We got to get you on to bracketology at some point.
Coach Johan Dolfer's volleyball class is definitely helping out with
does.
it. We go over a lot of bracketology.
The regional rankings, you know about that, and you're going to deal with some high-octane games, potentially calling them over the next 2 years of your college career. No better time to learn than now. It's just Rothstein who fouls one away.
I'm not a mathematician. That's first and foremost.
Look, when I was in high school, I was supposed to be put in the standard geometry class, but they accidentally placed me in the advanced, and so I had to deal with all the hard math. It was accidental. I was supposed to be placed in standard, and the scheduling got it wrong. Now here in college, you schedule your own classes for yourself. But I haven't done math in about 4 years. This is the O2 is high. What was your toughest math class you had to take?
My toughest math class. I remember the teacher, all of them. But I remember the teacher. I don't remember the exact subject. Probably algebra or something. They're all different.
Algebra something. That's a valid answer. As Rothstein pops one foul. Gallagher will give it a look, but I don't think he has a play. Calculus my senior year, it was hard because you were checked out, because you're done, and it was just you didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Well, my senior year, as everyone, was all online, and
Right,
I only had
online.
I was all online. I never went to school my entire senior year, and so I just looked up the answers and used everything.
Now
It's
you
pretty
can say
easy.
you did. 1-2. Outside 2-2 to Rothstein. And is that Kaplan on deck?
Looks like it is indeed.
2-2. High, towering shot to left. Presbury looks up, and it's gone. Some new life for the Bombers here in the 9th. A 3-run shot for Rothstein. It's 9-5.
What did I say earlier, Jeremy? Outs 1 through 27. This Ithaca team's going to ball out. Exactly what they're doing on the bottom of the 9th. Starting off the rally was not of the infield single. Murad works a walk. And Ethan Rothstein, how bad it is, 6th homer of the season. That's RBI's 30, 31, and 32. Right back in this ball game, and it looks like there will be a mound visit by Brad Cook. We'll see if that's the end of the road for Snyder.
That might be it. So some new life for the Ithaca Bombers, right? Still 4 runs to make up, but 1 out in the 9th. And that'll do it for Griffin Snyder. A brilliant effort nonetheless. Just 2 mistakes have prevented him from finishing his complete game. We'll take a quick break. Ithaca trying to mount out a rally when we come back. So the new pitcher is Max Friedlander for the Statesmen. First year out of Victor, New York. In a big spot. Matt Curtis will pinch hit for in the 9-hole here. As Ithaca tries to potentially get some more pressure on Hobart and make a comeback. First pitch to Curtis is down low.
Curtis coming in as a pinch hitter the last few days. Hasn't started a game in 10 days.
He hit a home run against Alfred State in one of the midweek games a few weeks back.
3 homers for the freshman.
There's a fastball strike from Friedlander.
He's come in and made a splash his freshman year. 381. 14 RBI. We're going to keep this inning alive.
9-10-1 for Hobart, 5-8-1 for Ithaca. That's a high fly ball to left again. Presbury to the track, to the wall. See you later. A home run for Matt Curtis. We're not done yet. It's 9-6.
Back-to-back go the Bombers. And this game is far from over. It's now a 3-run ball game. Curtis and Rothstein going back-to-back to deep left field.
So Curtis, or Rothstein and Curtis go back-to-back, and now the top of the order comes to the dish for Coach Valicenti's team. Feeney, who had a hit to start this game, will look to set the table. And if 2 runners get on here, Eli, the tying run will come to the plate. Some pressure mounted against the Statesman. The pitch to Feeney is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Feeney is 1 for 4, a couple of groundouts as well, with a strikeout swinging. There's a strike 0-2. Still plenty of weapons on the Bomber bench if they choose. Ryan Lobster, one of those options. Big spot for Feeney. 0-2 coming from Friedlander. Just got a piece to stay alive. Cifanelli on deck, and then if say Feeney and Cifanelli both get on, you got Garrett Callahan at the plate. He'd be the tying run. Job has to be done first. The 0-2. That's low, 1-2.
7.66 ERA now on the season for Friedlander after that homer.
1-2. 2-2, up and out.
A lot of fight on this Ithaca team, a loud bench. And a team looking for a big Liberty League win to round out their final regular season series.
2-2 coming. Poke the other way on a hop. The throw the first. Dug out by Garrett. What a play. The throw from the third baseman in Pinto, a little offline, but Garrett stuck with it the whole way. Ithaca down to their final out.
David Cifanelli coming in, the senior on senior day, as the defensive replacement for Fabo in the 7th.
Cifanelli grounded to a fielder's choice his last time up. And he takes a strike. Oh, 1. Popped up. It'll go out of play if they get down to their final strike. Cifanelli, another Bomber lefty in the lineup. The 0-2. Barely got a tip. Cifanelli in an 0-2 hole. Hobart trying to maintain the win here. A strike away. The pitch in the dirt. Cifanelli came into this game hitting 250, like Eli said, replaced 5-0 and left. 1-2 coming from Freelander. Low, 2-2. Garrett Callahan awaits on deck. Max Friedlander trying to wrap this one up. The 2-2, 3-2.
It would be Fabian, who's hit the ball hard all day, on deck after Callahan.
Gotta get it to Callahan first. The payoff to Cifanelli. Strike 3 called. Cifanelli doesn't like it. He thought that was low, and he's rung up to end this one, and Hobart takes it 9-6.
A lot of fight for the Bombers. Back-to-back homers, 4 runs across in the 9th inning. Back-to-back were Rothstein and the pinch hitter Curtis. A great effort, but the Bombers drop the third of the 3-game set, still coming away with the series 2-1. And Hobart, they get a massive in-conference win, and they move to 3-14 in conference play, while the Bombers fall to 11-6, and that will, as we mentioned, take them out of play of hosting the first round of the crossover series in the Liberty League with the Western Division. So a crucial loss for the Bombers, a big win for the first-year program in the Statesman. A great game out 1-27, but the Bombers fall short.
That'll do it for us here on the Athletic Stream. Post-game show will be brought to you by Andrew Roberts and Dean Gutic. I'm Jeremy Goldstein alongside me, Eli Fishman. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Bombers Baseball. Have a good one.
And we are back for the post-game show here on the Athletic Stream. The Hobart Statesmen take down the Ithaca Bombers 9-6. And Hobart spoiling senior day here on the South Hill in Ithaca, New York at Freeman Field. Dean Gutic alongside with me, Andrew Roberts. They play spoiler, and Andrew, they may have just ruined their bid, as mentioned on the broadcast, to host the game in the crossover series.
Yeah, disappointing loss here for the Bombers. Definitely a good effort at the end from the bats, but when the bullpen explodes the way it did in the 6th inning here, you can't really recover from that, or at least it's very difficult to recover from that. So I just this is the kind of situation where the Bombers, yeah, they've had overall some good numbers on the season, but it's games like this when they can't really come up clutch, can't really win when it matters, that are holding them back from potentially being that top team in the Western Division.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. And, talk about this game. We said that games like this are never a gimme, and today just showed why, and Hobart upsetting Ithaca. But we need to talk about the self-inflicting wounds for the Bombers. 8 hit by pitches in this game for the Bombers. Just pitching, not able to have command over the pitches, not having control over this game. And you know what they say, Andrew? I mean, self-inflicted pains can definitely shoot you in the foot, lose you games like this, and that's exactly what happened today for the Bombers.
Yeah, I believe it was 8 hit by pitches total. 7 that were thrown by the Bombers. And in addition to that, a total of, I believe it was 6 walks given up by the Bombers pitching staff. So even though there weren't a lot of hits by Hobart's offense, there's just a lot of guys getting on base for Hobart, which set up the big plays. The triple by Christian Petrie, the double by Michael Presbury, knocking in a lot of runs, and then some clutch RBI singles during the 7-run rally for Hobart. So it was those walks and hit by pitches that were really biting the Bombers in the back. Also that error by Matt Fabian on the throw to home. I almost feel bad, though, for Christian Petrie and Ty Gallagher. While they do get a big win, it comes at a cost. Both a little banged up probably after all those balls. Ty Gallagher got hit 30 times, Petrie 2 times. I can't imagine what it's like for them today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you right there, Andrew. And you mentioned the 7 hit by pitches, the 6 guys, and the 6 walks, and 13 times basically. A little math here: 7 plus 6. The 13 times that the Bombers have basically allowed a hitter to go on base without a run, along with the additional hits. I mean, the Bombers just couldn't get it together, and it was that 4th, 5th inning, the 7 runs for Hobart that made it 8-2, and